root by the ball. Tassadar getting knocked all the way out of this fight. Credit Clown gets the light bomb on him, and he stuns only the Gazlo, but the Gazlo does go down. Stukov caught in the middle of that storm by the Mei, and D-Nasty is getting fairly low himself. That should be a kill onto the Stukov. Raynar getting knocked away by the Mei. Oh, and Mei coming in massive here. That is 4 kills going over for the core bouncers. That Mei, holy moly, they should be able to get at least this entire front wall and the health fountain. The tower is yet to be determined by how low the members of FF and Pancakes. Gary getting fairly low. The Decker root coming out. Kael'thas getting low on Mr. G as well. And that is 2 kills going over. And that is a massive play by the sides of Crowd Control and get back into the safety of his team. Nubrak does just dive in on the entire team. Grab bomb goes down. It lands on 2 members. And D-Nasty did get caught in that as well. Urel being able to absorb, but Satan saves. It's just fairly low. Unable to pop the ultimate from Satan saves because it got interrupted. But that is 2 kills going over for the core bouncers. And now the Devils need to run. The rejects need to run really fast, but not able to. And that's 4 kills going, 2 kills, and snowball the fight. Courtney getting laid on the mount top. Johanna sees it and is able to get him up. This might be a pick down onto Courtney. Courtney's down to about quarter HP. The bombs do bounce, and Mr. G's getting down to about half health. Cassie is coming in as well. Stampy getting low on the Zeratul as well. That is a kill. That is a second kill. And that is 3 kills going over to FC Hong Kong. It looks like they're just trying to poke him off and back up. The core bouncers want to fight. They do land it on the Tychus again. The Tychus gets caught out, and the Tychus is, oh, he got the Lucio bomb, but is it going to be enough? The Tychus is still alive. Lucio may have just saved this game. Like, they're able to see just much. Grab bomb going down, lands onto 2 members there. Unstoppable pop. Lucio already pops his ultimate. Luark getting fairly low here, but everything's just a little chaotic. Diablo trying to land a stun here, and the Devil's Rejects, they got to run. They are not healthy. The Mei's getting a nice little pick here going on, and the Mei, 2 kills coming over, 3 kills coming over, and the Devil's Reject, or the core bouncers, they are liking this pick. This should be the Shrine coming over in the next few seconds, but it looks like FC Hong Kong, they know that the game would end if they didn't push the Punisher, so they're going to try and backdoor this and end the game here. It's getting down to about quarter HP. If sides of FM Pancakes don't back fast enough, this could be the entire core. The FF Pancakes now coming in the core is about 53% HP. It's the last Raw, Johanna landing with 3-man Blessed Shield. Nematode, the Greymane needs to be the focus. The Greymane is not getting killed. If he puts down more damage, 11, 8, 5, 4, 3, 2%, 1%. That is it. Oh my gosh, they did it. 1%. Good evening and welcome everybody to the Grand Finals. We are here. We have got a fantastic match set up tonight for your all viewing pleasure. Best of 5 series between FC Hong Kong and the core bouncers. And if that replay did not get you hyped up enough for this series, I don't know what will. This is going to be a bloodbath. This is going to be a fantastic series. I am Icex. I've got my co-host over here, Dax. Dax, want to give a shout out to everyone?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I hope everyone has their popcorn ready. We're gonna put on a show tonight. These teams are gonna bring it. We got the Div E Season 10 Grand Finale here tonight.
Yeah, I am super stoked. I mean, me and Dax were hyped up days before the match even started. Listening to these teams talking in the pregame lobby, it seems like they're pretty hyped up too. I've been able to follow both of these teams for quite a while. Dax actually got to play against FC Hong Kong just last week, so yep. I mean, we've got fresh, hot off the press stuff going on here. Let's go over. I'm going to introduce you guys to a little bit. Give a little bit of background on both these teams and their journey to the finals thus far. So we've got on this screen, you can see the core bouncers and FC Hong Kong. I'm going to talk through the core bouncers real quick and then toss it over to Dax to introduce FC Hong Kong. But the core bouncers, they're known for the maps they're known for. They play this. They love Hanamura, and Hanamura is something that is new in NGS. It's not typically played in other divisions, and the core bouncers, they have found a way to make it successful for them. They love Hanamura. They love playing on Alterac. They love playing on Volskaya. Champions that they bring out, I mean, the Credit Clown's known for his Mei. Every time he plays Mei, it's exciting to see these avalanches that he can throw out. As you can see in the replay, that knockback on the Raynar, pinning him in, that was fantastic. Sylvanas on Captain John, Tassadar going over to Nemesis. So we've got a big, wide plethora going over here. And so, I asked Dax, hey, let's each pick a person and talk about him a little bit, who we think may be that person that's going to take it to the next level and maybe carry their team through here. And my pick was Nemesis for the core bouncers. And the reason I picked Nemesis is because he's not typically as focused in the pick ban phase as Captain John. Captain John, we saw last week against the Devil's Reject, They banned out his pool, they banned out his puddle, they banned out everything in his pockets. Like anything Captain John played was getting banned by the Devil's Rejects. And so with that on the line, Nemesis got to, his whole platter of what's going on. So if we see a similar approach to pick ban strategies here, I mean, Nemesis, he plays a mean Tassadar. His Li Ming is top notch, and his Vala play we got to see even come in last week. And he plays a pretty aggressive Vala, and I like to see him get in there and disrupt some back lines. So, he had an 8.3 KDA last week. Fantastic KDA. You could see him, in some of those highlights, carrying some of those fights just with the Tassadar play alone. I expect to see Tassadar coming out at least once tonight if it's not banned out. And then the last thing I want to talk about, little keys to success. What do the core bouncers have to do tonight to come away with that win? And, the thing with core bouncers is their team fight pressure. They are known for their team fighting. They have great communication and good chemistry with the team fighting. And they need to execute that cleanly tonight against the team that's arguably going to be the closest to them in that category that they've played thus far. One of the things that they do tend to do on occasion is they tend to stagger a little bit some of those deaths in the later game or get isolated out doing something and get picked off. So they got to kind of watch that. We could see it kind of happening last week. They got to clean that up. But we know from last week, even if they drop a series and they do stagger, they find a way to bounce back. And in game 4 last week, they didn't let themselves get staggered. They didn't isolate, and they found a way back to win the game. So we know they can come from behind and win there too. So I'm excited to see what the core bouncers bring out tonight. Dax, let me throw it over to you to introduce Hong Kong.
All right. Excuse me, FC Hong Kong, Tomb of the Spider Queen. I don't want to spoil anything, but that is going to be our game 1 map here. But that is where FC Hong Kong has made their money this season. Undefeated, 8-0 on the regular season on this particular map. Surprised it wasn't banned out from them, not counting even the playoffs. I know we lost to them on this map as well. And then when I scouted them, they were 8-0 on this map as well. But they love the larger maps, Alterac Pass, Infernal Shrines, love to do their things. Just a wide hero pool. They have some great subs on this team. I don't even want to call them subs because they rotate these players in and out of the lineup to kind of pick and choose what heroes or what comps they want to run. So I'm looking forward to that. But the player spotlight that I want to put on here tonight is Ronan, one of the team captains for this team. You're showing on here the 4-0 KDA in the semifinals so far, but that Diablo, I don't expect that to make it through any single bans. Really comfort hero, gets a lot done on that. But at the same time, what Ronan does behind the scenes is he's the captain. He does the scouting. He does the banning. What he takes here and the positions he puts his teams into. The way that he talks to his team moving into this game. Psyching them up, the morale boost. If they have a bad engagement, how does he keep the morale up? Like you said, in these team fights against the core bouncers who love to team fight, they are good at team fighting, which is why my key to success for FC Hong Kong is the macro game. Can they out macro the core bouncers? If they do get those staggered deaths, how do they press that advantage? They can't be afraid to end games here, and I think that's what they need to do. And I think that's going to be on Ronan to make those shot calls for the team. As for hero pools here, hard to pick, but we got the Diablo, we got the Cassia, still just massive in the meta. Greymane on Nematode, fantastic. Cake on Li Ming, just ban it. Don't let him have Li Ming at all, but he does have that fantastic Orphea in the back pocket. So, these teams unfortunately only have 3 bans, and they kind of have to pick their poison.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be that's what I'm most excited about in this series is seeing what each team is going to bring to that pick and ban strategy. I really have no idea what is going to happen when we go there. Let's get us over to the map overview. I'm still setting up a couple of things in the back. So Dax, want to take us through what went on in the pregame and the map banning phase?
Yeah. So FC Hong Kong did their homework. I know Ice mentioned Hanamura is their favorite map. Ronan went ahead and banned that immediately. In Volskaya, that's one of the maps that they do ban, maybe not comfortable on, kind of swingy on that third. Usually the third and final objective, usually on Volskaya. But at the same time, core bouncers turn around, ban Cursed Hollow and Brax's Holdout, 2 good macro heavy maps, knowing, where they don't want to play, where they don't play very well. But leaving Tomb of the Spider Queen up 4 grabs and opting for first pick here to get the possible overbuffed hero. Now Hogger is out, but is banned throughout the rest of the playoffs here. But we had a small patch here. Gazlo did not get hit again, so still very powerful in the current meta. But yeah, FC Hong Kong looking to come out strong here, game 1 on their favorite map, and see if they can hold that undefeated streak.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I'm shocked too. The Spider Queen got through too, doing my little background research. But why not start this series off where, at least for me, my last series ended going right back to Tomb of the Spider Queen. Fantastic map, been there since the beginning, since the game came out. A classic HOTS map. I'm excited. I know these teams are excited. Let me make sure, see if everybody's ready in the chat.
Ooh, I am
and
not in that lobby.
See if we're not. Hold on. Let me get you in.
Today.
Let me.
I was looking for it.
Let me see if I can get you in real quick. I know you're in Heroes Lounge. Are you in the Heroes Lounge channel? Not Heroes Lounge. Nexus. NGS. I'm sorry, NGS. Oh, what am I doing? That was the first one on there. I'm like looking for you, and I'm like, nope. There you are. Gotcha. Sweet. All right, we got everybody in here. So now looks like both teams are ready to get going. Just waiting to get the all clear from these teams, and then we will get into game number 1, Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, what do you think? Diablo getting banned, or you think he's gonna come out on this map?
You know what? Since these first two teams, these teams played their very first week 1 against each other. Core Bouncers, I believe, won 2-0. But since then, FC Hong Kong had done some roster changes. I believe Ronan was actually a mage at the time, and he actually took over the main tank role. And then the season progressed from here. So, these two teams had seen each other before, but not in the same iteration we're going to see here. But he didn't play May to begin the season. Like he did, they just kind of banned it, so they didn't have to deal with it. But he took the time and he picked up May to learn how to play May, so they didn't have to waste the ban. So, but like you said, they Core Bouncers play May as well. So maybe kind of picking their poison on what they let through here. So, but to the point, Tomb of the Spider Queen, it's a macro map. It's a very small map, good macro map. But at the same time, it's a very good team fight map. So, playing to both the strengths of both of these teams here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm liking. I personally, I don't anticipate Diablo coming out here. I did forget to mention, I'm glad you brought that up, that the FC Hong Kong, they did change a lot of their rosters since they played the Core Bouncers last. And that's a fun part about this kind of series. Is these teams met early on, like first week in the division, and now here we are, these two teams both making it to the finals. We get to see them again. We get to see how this has transpired, what changes have been made, and how each team has grown throughout the entire 10-game season to get to this point and now play against each other. And we already see Cassia and Tassadar. Nemesis ain't getting his Tassadar in this game, that's for sure. Maybe they heard me on stream. There's a 30-second delay in the stream, but we've been going for about 10 minutes, so maybe they heard that. I don't know. But Nemesis is not getting that Tassadar, but that means that unless they pick or ban, we might see Captain John get one of his comfort picks this game.
Yeah, and absolutely that Cassia and Nematode not going to have that. He does play a great Sylvanas. We could see the Sylvanas here. Cake plays Gul'dan as well, but Thrall, Geo on here heavily favoring Thrall, picks him a lot of the time, just scrolling down here to get my notes, but 80% win roll. 80% win rate, I'm sorry, on Thrall.
Oh my, yeah.
This season on Geo. With him down, I expect him to probably grab the Malthael, another great double soaker for them, and the kill potential on the front line for the Core Bouncers.
Yeah, I'm curious if we're going to see if they play the Sylvanas and they're not expected. They do go with the Lucio, so focusing on the Captain Garbo there, playing his Lucio play. It does play a very good Lucio. It's one of the more comfort picks for the Core Bouncers that they like to go. We saw how critical those sound barriers can come in, and Credit Clown going with them. So they had the Sylvanas option, and they had the Lunar option, but they like to go put Credit Clown on May.
I like it. It is a pick away from Ronan here, but if he does choose or elect to go for the Diablo, I mean, May with the Avalanche does provide
there it is. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Diablo.
Right, absolutely. So yeah, Mr. said his name 3 times and he did appear here. Pick up that Sylvanas. So if they are able to grab the spiders, the push potential with Sylvanas being able to shut down structures is just going to be immense here. But they're going to have to be careful with that, engaging on that May post level 10.
All right, and we get Anduin and Asmodan. Asmodan, So Captain John did pull this out. I didn't see him play it, I don't think, all season long, and they pulls it out in the semifinals. And he actually did very, very well on the Asmodan, especially since, I expect with it being Division E, maybe not as much communication between, maybe Asmodan spends a little too much time split pushing, but Captain John, he was in every single team fight, and he was pumping out massive damage on that Asmodan. So it was, I guess, something he's been practicing or just holding in that back pocket, pulling out. And this is a fantastic map for Asmodan to come out on. Able to get those stacks very cleanly since it is one of those smaller maps, getting stacked up and getting that damage ramped up. And then we see Anduin, the Light Bomb Mei combo is just going to be an absolute terror to deal with. Getting Mei to get to that back line and be able to lock down that entire back line. It's going to be pretty frightening stuff, especially with all these small corridors going through.
Yeah, he is just, he is going to get stacked, and it's a lot of burst damage come to the late game. So opt to see, okay, so it is going to be the Decker. They did opt to ban Malfurion away from Tiny, 57% win rate on that hero, a good favorite of his. But then the Gul'dan coming up to round out the damage for FC Hong Kong.
Yeah, the Deckard, good counter engage. As long as he stays out of that light bomb, he can lock down the opposing team. Important note, medallions are no longer in the game. So when you hear Deckard starting to tell his little story, you can't press your medallion button anymore. And we see Vala being picked up by Nemesis, and Dan Solo picks the Gazlo. I completely forgot to mention Dan Solo's Gazlo, but you saw the replays that I posted already. It can be wicked. He can get some of those 3-4 grab bombs. They don't have the burst early game necessarily to be able to combo great off of it, unless it's a pick. I mean, there's always the potential for a pick, but late game grab bombs with the Asmodan stacking up is going to be terrifying.
So I expect the Malthael, but it's going to be the Leoric this time. I like it. A lot of damage could be put into that Entomb, depending on if it's APOC in that as well. So just great wombo combos from both these teams. Leoric, I don't think trades well into the Gazlo, so we might see maybe some swaps or some rotations down here to help him out there a little bit.
Yeah, I anticipate to see some help going to that Leoric lane a little bit. But like you mentioned, that wombo that's coming out of FC Hong Kong with the Entomb, APOC, and Gul'dan just being like, yes, please put the corruption down right in that puddle of death and being able to wombo off that. It's going to be exciting. All right. Game 1. Who do you like better? What comp do you like him better out of the gun?
Out of the gun? Oh, this is tough. I want to lean, not just because I'm talking about them, but I like the wave clear on the side of FC Hong Kong a little bit better. But come late game, I definitely like the comp, I think, for core bouncers better. So Let's see if FC Hong Kong can end it early. Yeah,
they definitely got the wave clear advantage for sure. Being able to push out some of that those lanes a little bit faster, allow them to put a little bit more early pressure on some of these rotations. But let's get these teams introduced. I'll do core bouncers. We'll send it over to Dax for FC Hong Kong. But on the core bouncers, we got Captain Garbo on the Anduin, Credit Clown sitting on Mei, Dan Solo on the Gazlo, Captain John on the Asmodan. We got Nemesis coming up on the Vala.
All right, and for FC Hong Kong, we have Geo on Leoric, Ronan on the Diablo Cake, picking up that Gul'dan, Nematode on Sylvanas, and Tiny Notai on Deckard.
Okay, expect to see both teams just going right at it in the mid lane. I expect, since it's game 1 of the finals, we may just see a little bit of nerves coming out and be like, no, I don't want to do anything. I'm perfectly comfortable just sitting back, and it looks like it. No sprays coming out, but Deckard already getting those potions down, setting up nicely.
Finally got that spray, but yeah, the nerves here, you kind of have to feel each other out, see who wants to kind of make the first move, and whether it's a good first move, a good engage or not, and then that's how you can kind of get some of that momentum here.
Yeah, interesting to note, Vala did go with the Caltrops at level 1. Little bit of fear in that Diablo, but that were shown. Maybe be able to peel herself a little bit more than what we would typically expect the Vala to go with, more of a DPS. So he's going a little bit more of that passive thing, but it plays well into the fear if you have of Diablo.
I think that was more of a Korean build from what I remember. I forget where I heard it or seen it, but I know the Korean meta enjoys Caltrops.
Always good to add more CC to your team's arsenal, that's for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
But right now, we do see Leoric coming up for a little bit of that double soak. The core bouncers are able to easily just poke him off. Gazlo's going to have a little bit more fun time setting up. We look down into that bottom lane. No team picking to path aggressively through that top mid rotation, though. So each team, again, probably just a little bit of nerves. Neither team wanted to make that first big mistake. Once it gets made, I'm sure the guns are going to start going off left and right. But Looks like Gul'dan's getting a little low there. Credit Clown did try to go in, try to get a knockback on the Mei. Diablo getting rooted out by the Anduin. That could be and that is first blood. Nice root coming out from the Anduin on the Diablo, and it looks like Nematode might go down. He gets away by the skin of his teeth, but nice first blood over by the core bouncers, landing that crowd control from the Anduin, getting that kill onto Diablo.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is kind of the issue with Diablo in the early game. He is a little bit squishy, and then having a hard time if he does try and dive in or step up at all. Mei kind of has that slow to deal with him, but only 27 stacks of souls so far. So, not giving up too much. They were ahead in Soak there. Both teams reaching 4 here, but a little far behind.
Yeah, the core bouncers enjoying that, pretty much that kill experience. Nice little quarter level lead there. It's not game breaking or anything. It's a nice, easy way to start snowballing the game. But we do see Val now. She is going to go into the hatred stacking, into that greed of the hunter, where she's going to be able to, once that gets finished, put out a lot of that single target damage that we expect the Vala to be able to put out there. Especially with the Asmodan as her DPS partner. We fully expect to see that this build coming out from the Vala player.
Yeah, and then other than that, so far I think everybody else. We are seeing, so far, gem build from the Deckard here, but standard build so far. I know we had a small discussion here before the game that, you kind of, the practice thing, if you race or you practice a certain way, don't change it up in the game time. So,
nice root.
Dive onto, on the there, but to be able to their way out of
Perk
there.
of being Sylvanas, getting to banshee yourself away and not have to worry, live to fight another day.
But team here in the bot lane, Dan Slow is getting a little bit low. Gio's trading in well, but he's going to be able to top himself off there with his laser there and get safely behind the wall.
Nematode getting caught out again, but again, they don't have the damage necessarily to be able to burst them down all the way yet. It will change. The later we get this follow, we'll be able to pump out the damage. Asmodan will be able to get more damage out. Asmodan doing respectable on the stack so far at 42. Should get a little higher there. Did see Credit Clown going a little aggressively, get caught out by the Diablo there. Lost about half his health. Nemesis was low on health and mana, so he really couldn't provide any follow-up there. But look at Deckard's mana pool. He is running on fumes at this point. He's going to need to go tapper, go back and get some more mana, especially with turn-ins now being available. That might be why he's not wanting to actually go all the way back and fill up that pool.
So I'm trying to see here, and I'm pretty sure. So they did start turning in. Both teams do have turn in now, but they're going to rotate down bottom, and it looks like we will have first turn in going over to the core bouncers here. Let's see what they want to position. I know some teams like to go top lane, where it looks like that's where they're going to head for that boss lane. I enjoy taking mid. It helps with a little bit of extra vision if you can get that mid wall down. Vision on both turn-ins, because usually you take boss when everyone's dead anyway. So usually, mid top. Usually mid top is my own personal preference on this map, but I don't fault teams at all whatsoever. But we're going to see. FC Hong Kong.
Nice engaged by the Mei, but again, the damage just not being there. It did look like they were going to go top, then they rotate down mid, then they're going back top again, so just bounce it back and forth, but ultimately they go, ooh, the spider gets the kill. Sylvanas just wasn't paying close enough attention to that channel that was coming out of the Spider, and she does be able to put out that burst, assist to the rest of the team there, but Spider taking one home for the core bouncers, and this will be able to allow them to create some more siege pressure, especially with the Asmodan in this top lane, to getting at least maybe this health found. I don't know if they're going to focus it or if they're going to try to rotate mid. Looks like the rest of the FC Hong Kong are going to rotate mid. Core bouncers, they're going to siege it with this as well instead. Captain John did get rooted out there by the Deckard root. Flip going onto the Mei, knocked back into the wall. Mei does pop her heal, but she might not get away. Bleed from the Gul'dan and the Sylvanas. Just too strong. That's 2 kills going over for the FC Hong Kong.
Yep, and that was a turn that they did need, and I was going to say, poor Sylvanas on that death there. Just so much junk on the ground between the Mei, the Anduin root coming out, the Asmodan, and then just dodged everything else and just unfortunately caught that spider wave here. But 10's almost online here, halfway there for FC Hong Kong, catching back up in Soak, doing a great job there. Only losing. It looks like two walls here. All the fountains are up, and they are well on their side up here in the top lane. 10's online now. Great push potential here for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, yeah, they have the 10 advantage. 10s are not up for the core bouncers. They're you know, looked like they were in control of the early game, but that pick by the Diablo onto the Mei and then being able to snowball off the Vala gave them that experience lead that they do have the 10s. If they can find a good fight here in this top lane, Diablo's looking. You can see if Deckard put down the root, got the Vala. Diablo, Gul'dan puts down the Corruption first and said Diablo. Diablo knocks him back. Anduin pulls Nemesis back into the team. Nemesis getting fairly low on that Vala, but does not go down. Diablo didn't go APOC. He went Fire Breath instead. I did not look at that. So
it looks like they're going with the Easy Bake Oven combo.
Yeah, Easy Bake Oven indeed. But the Corruption did go down. The Gul'dan did get the pick, so they got some good combos onto the Vault. They did make Anduin waste that 80-second cooldown, so maybe they'll look for a nice fight here. If they can get a rotation up by the Leoric, get a good pick onto the team. They do get the root onto the Asmodan, but unfortunately, they're not able to get much else without having that pick potential from the Leoric. The Corruption is down from the Gul'dan, and the Stay a While listen is up from Deckard, but he doesn't want to go too far forward and get himself caught out there. So, nice little siege done by FC Hong Kong. Neither team really getting too much. They got a little bit more tower pressure than the core bouncers do, but both teams just, again, maybe the nerves are a little bit there. Neither team really wanting to push too hard with that first Web Weaver phase, content just to get as much as they can and then back off. And it looks like teams are just going to go back to a full reset and wait for Web Weaver phase 2.
Yep, absolutely. We saw 2 Web Weavers, pre-8 minutes into this game already. Geo getting a little outnumbered here in the bot lane. The Bruisers were picked up. That's the first Bruiser camp of the game. Looks like FC Hong Kong will counteract by doing the same. But it doesn't look like they're going to try and start clearing that one out as well. But the rotation onto Geo has been called. He's going to get the stun from the volley. He's going to be able to Ghost Walk out there to safety. Looks like he did have tap up, or at least Aussie and Renewal, and he did get away. But Danzo has 23 gems looking to turn in here, and with that one they just picked up, they're looking for their second turn in. Yeah,
the second turn in, if the core bouncers can get this in, this is a huge play potential. They're not at I keep wanting to say Devil's Rejects, but that was last week. FC Hong Kong, they're not at their level 13s yet, so if they can get that turn in before the level 13s, they're going to stay down that talent tier since most of the map is picked up. If they can get that turn in, they will have the Web Weaver phase pushing with them, and they could find that good pick, but Diablo actually decided to pick the fight early. Credit Crown lands a stun onto both the Sylvanas and to the Deckard Kane. Deckard got caught by Dancel. Leoric goes down with the Entomb, but that's 1-2 deaths going over for the core bouncers. Diablo's got to run. Ronan getting fairly low. That's going to be 3 kills. Nematode getting fairly low as well. Banshees gets interrupted, so she couldn't quite get it to proc it and be able to go away. And Gul'dan, he gets hit by the laser. That's a full 5-man ace for the core bouncers. They look like they had the setup with the Leoric there, but engaging before they were hitting that 13, I don't know if that's necessarily a fight that they wanted for the FC Hong Kong being able to pick that, since they had the experience lead. They should have just sat back.
Yeah, Credit Clown had a great, I don't know if you caught it there, but Stay a While and Listen went on a full cooldown. He hit, with the icing, Credit Clown hit Deckard right as it was about to go off and canceled it. And they were just able to stay in there. And then, unfortunately, the problems ensued. And then 13s came online. And then a 5-kill swing in favor of the core bouncers here as they get the second turn in. And they have their sets sight on Geo, going to be able to go Wraith Walk out of there. But they want this bottom fort.
Yeah, they're looking a little like to get that pressure bottom. Maybe Geo's low. They know the whole team's top, so they're just trying to push the lane that is most going to benefit. They can get the best push in. Geo will be able to play pretty safely, so they probably won't get the kill in the arc, but now it looks like they're going to rotate mid. They will get 2 towers for that. Top is still staying fairly healthy. Since that boss is available top lane, it looked like the FC Hong Kong, they wanted to keep that top tower. And usually his top lane is the lane that most teams try to end on in this map, so keeping that top tower alive, that's, a good... It's not a bad strategy by any means. They did trade up 2 towers for it, but again, they should have their turn in again before the core bouncers. They did lose a lot of gems with that full ace, but they should get their turn in again before the core bouncers, so that'll allow them to at least counteract this Web Weaver phase 2 that the core bouncers put down.
Yeah, so that's the problem on this particular map where, you get the objective. Now the lanes are all pushed out, which makes it even more difficult for you to fight on the side of the map. But
we see Diablo going on, but core bouncers were ready. May getting the stun, the light bomb going down onto the Deckard. That's all she was able to land on. She puts the avalanche. Deckard's going for a ride all the way back into the enemy team. I don't see Deckard getting out here, but he bought time for Diablo. Deckard is okay. I was going to say, Deckard was surviving there for quite a while. He was getting top, but May landing that avalanche, putting Deckard all the way back in the team, and that's a kill going over for the core bouncers.
Yep, great pick. Now they have their opportunity here. We will see 16s online here shortly. The stun coming out from Vala, not going to be able to connect with any member of FC Hong Kong, but they're looking for this top 4, and we know with Deckard on the death timer, I expect maybe a boss call here.
Yeah, this could be the top 4. Every team's a little afraid to get that early boss. I do like that since they do not have to worry about the APOC, they do have to worry about the Leoric and Tomb with the boss play, but if they can keep their eyes on Leoric, a boss wouldn't have necessarily been a bad idea. Looks like they're electing to play a little bit safer. They know they have the lead. They just got their 16s, so they do know that FC Hong Kong do have turn-in potential. They are very close as well. They're only about 11 gems off at this moment, so they could just defend. They do need to keep eyes on this top one. The top wave is pushed far enough that they don't necessarily have to worry about the turn-in top potential right now, and they can see all members mid lane, but they do need to keep eyes on the rest of their main team of FC Hong Kong so they don't get that turn-in on that top turn-in potential while they get the siege camp bot.
Yeah, the best disengage tool was used to pick off that Deckard, so I can definitely see the hesitation there on not grabbing the boss, just in case if FC Hong Kong were able to sniff that out. Having the Horrify up to get any people off of that point and maybe get the steal. But we may see it here, probably showing a little bit on the way, but it doesn't really matter. They're rotating down. FC Hong Kong is to grab their own boosters. Maybe they were just peeking it, could see them on there, but turn-ins available for both teams here, and we could see the back-to-back turn-in for the core bouncers here.
Yeah, apologize for everybody who may have heard that. That was my son. He likes this game just as much as I do, so he comes over and he's impressed. He wants to watch this epic battle between these two teams. Who wouldn't want to? But we do see another gem turn-in going over to the core bouncers, so they've got their third, and this could be massive for the core bouncers. If they get a great push with this, this could be multiple keeps depending on the pick. It is to note that FC does have 16 talent tiers as well, so they just got to find a good fight around this to not necessarily get caught out.
Yeah, Nemesis stepped up a little far above.
Ooh, big 3-man grab bomb!
Yep, going to be, and then the follow-up stun coming out from the Valo there. Everybody is awfully low, but no kills.
Dunk from the Asmodan onto the Gul'dan.
On the Gul'dan, yeah.
That's going to be big. That's going to be this tower going over to the... This is most likely, at least minimum, top keep going down. All members of FC Hong Kong are sitting fairly low right now, and everybody on the core bouncers are pretty healthy. They're going to get this top keep. They may rotate mid. They may just try to push a little bit with this top and get some core damage, and it looks like that's what they're electing to do. They see Leoric mid, so they're electing to continue to push with this Web Weaver. Deckard does land the root. All ultimates are available for the core bouncers, and the Devil's Rejects have a few as well. Staywile going down, but gets interrupted again! Diablo goes down. May landing another interrupt onto Deckard Cain. And this might be Leoric going down as well. Is he able to walk away? He is. Sylvanas staying fairly healthy, and it doesn't look like the core bouncers will be able to end here, but they are... Oh, never mind. Gul'dan just got caught out. Vala went in, and that's Nemesis on that aggressive Vala that I constantly talk about. Gio going down. That's 2 more kills going over. This may now be game 1. It looked like it wasn't in... Grab bomb doesn't land on anybody. Core sitting at about 54%. Root going down onto the Asmodan. They should be able to just siege this out as long as the Anduin is able to keep everybody healthy. And that looks like it will be GG's coming out. Game 1 going over to the core bouncers.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic game number 1. Really entertaining. It kind of got a little snowbally there towards the end. But the wave clear was awesome on the side of FC Hong Kong, but unfortunately with the Gazlo, with the Asmodan, they were able to artificially make their own wave to be able to stand there and tank some of those core shots to be able to finish that off.
Yeah, I mean, having that siege potential with the Gazlo, with the Asmodan, they didn't necessarily need the Web Weavers. It looked like Gio was just a little late, focusing a little more on that mid Web Weaver. Had he gotten there a little earlier, maybe they could have held off. It looked like at one point they had pushed them back, and then Gul'dan just stepped a little too far forward and was able to get caught out by, I believe it was the Meg, and I think the Meg, I can't remember. Oh no, it was Vala. Vala went in with the Rain of Vengeance and then followed up with just an immense amount of verse. Nemesis playing that aggressive Vala and was able to kill the Gul'dan, and I think that started that little bit of a snowball ending this game 1 series.
Yeah, absolutely, and that fight, that mid fight, pre-13s, they didn't really have to engage on that. Maybe they thought they could just catch them off guard, get the turn in themselves, and just kind of sway it back. So, But hey, you know what? This is the best of 5. Shake off the nerves and coming
Oh
back
yeah.
for a game 2. And
This
I'm
this
excited
ain't
to
a
see what
sprint.
we
This is a marathon, ladies and
yeah,
gentlemen.
this ain't over yet.
This could be one of 5. We've seen FC Hong Kong. They've been in games like this before where it looked like they had a plan, they were executing it well, and it just got a little out of control, and they were able to find a way to either fight themselves back in or just to reset and go again game 2. And I expect that's what's going on right now. Is they're just like, hey guys, it's not a best of 3 anymore. We don't have to start sweating yet. Let's just reset. We know our game. Maybe make a few ban adjustments depending on the map. Is there anything? I mean, the Vala, I know Nemesis plays it very aggressively. We saw it there as well. The May I think was probably the biggest concern, that being able to just get that engaged coming from the core bouncer. So we may see May go away.
Yeah, I mean, Critic Clown was able to do kind of what he wanted to on that May. I think maybe if Sylvanas went overwhelming affliction at 1 because she was able to dive in, she was able to use her trait to heal back up and then walk away. A lot the poison damage. Anduin's going to be able to heal through that. All of the percent-based damage was down in the bot lane on the Leoric, and I don't think May was pressured enough to kind of make her think twice about any of those engages.
Yeah, it felt like the FC Hong Kong. Credit to them, they did have a plan. Like we said, the easy bake oven plan. They had a plan going into that game with Leoric and Tomb, Diablo putting his fire breath down, Gul'dan putting the corruption down, Sylvanas being able to put the Banshee in there, and with her W just be able to spread that bleed. Deckard can stay a while if nobody else dies, if they're not able to get that die. But it seemed like they just never got to set it up. Like every time they tried, it was like reacting instead of trying to be proactive and set up that combo.
Yeah, and I think 9 times out of 10, I think it was usually Deckard. It looked like Deckard was trying to get the setup with the sleep first, and then everything just kind of went awry because if he's trying to stand still, he's not throwing potions out. So I think you needed to a little bit more comms with rotating Geo up in some of those team fights a little bit earlier to maybe catch, like you said, the Entomb, and then you can guarantee the sleeps, at least on the 1 or 2 people that you grab in the Entomb.
Yeah, I mean, credit to May as well. I don't think he
Mm-hmm.
got. I think he interrupted Deckard at least twice, maybe
Yep.
3 times on the stay a while and listen. Like it was either perfectly timed and he got it before Deckard even got the sleep off, or it was just like immediately after and put him right out of his misery, so it wasn't being able to be channeled. And May was right on top of that Deckard every time it comes up. But just got an invite to lobby number 2. I'll let y'all know where we're going. We are going to Infernal Shrines.
Yes. My favorite map.
Yes.
My favorite map.
You can't go a series without playing Infernal Shrines.
No, I mean, I can't speak for the overall Heroes of the Storm fan base, but at least NGS wise, I think this is one of the more popular maps. I can't, I don't have the stats or anything else pulled up, but I'm curious to. I would almost bet hard money that this is the most played map in any particular season.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just waiting to hear back. I did get invited to the draft, so I was making sure we know who elected to pick before I get that up on the map. Looks like first team draft is going to go over to the core bouncers, so I think this is a pick from FC Hong Kong. They elected to go get the map pick instead of first pick. And there we go. I can invite you to the game now.
That's easy enough.
Yeah, it looks like the first team draft is going to go over to the core bouncers. So I think this is another FC Hong Kong pick. They elected to go with the map pick. Having the option to pick map or first pick, and they elected to go with map pick as instead, which I've been seeing a lot more recently. Like early on in the season, it seemed like everybody wanted first pick, and maybe it was just because Tassadar and Cassia were so strong that they wanted those. But now it seems like everybody, like late in the season, everybody wants to pick maps. They want to get on a map they know they play well on.
Yeah, I've argued this point several times that it's having a map that your team's comfortable on is almost like, and I mean, I don't know if there's any like football fans out there, but it's kind of like it's out in Seattle. I know you said you're a West Coaster, but it's like the 12th man, right? It's I call a comfortable map strategy that you want to do is like the 6th player for your team here, especially if another team doesn't really know what to do, doesn't know the camp timings, doesn't know maybe the fog of wars where you can hide, get some picks. I will note here that they did sub in Blackstormer for Geo here. So that opens up the hero pool a little bit more, maybe some different picks or bans coming out here from the core bouncers.
What do we see? What's Blackstormer seems to be his comfort pick since he is that sub that is coming in for Geo?
So Blackstormer is known for his Urel, plays a really good Urel. But earlier on in the season, like I said, they did do some things. So even scouting him, did play some Ana, did play some Rhaegar. But the Urel is one that now they did ban in game number 1, so maybe they opt for the Urel, maybe get a little back line harassment going on this time around, since unfortunately it was just kind of Diablo almost playing like a defensive tank versus being the engaged tank that he really needed to be.
Yeah, that was one of the things where not having that Leoric being able to rotate up had him having to be, maybe it was that pick, that death he had early on that just got into his head, like, okay, I need to be a lot more a lot more safe on my Diablo engages here, and peel a little bit forward steam, even though the core bouncers didn't necessarily have much engage outside of the Mei, but the thing was Mei could get in there and then throw everybody back to the team and be like, here you guys go, dinner served kind of deal. And so Diablo was kind of just stuck in that between a rock and a hard place kind of deal, trying to figure it out. But I anticipate, especially on Infernal Shrines, because Infernal Shrines is a great map for Mei, being able to put down that snowstorm over the objective and being able to get minions and get that crowd control over that. It's just, I think this is one of Mei's stronger maps. I don't think it's a bad map for Mei, really, but I think this is one of her stronger maps. So we may see that Mei go bye-bye.
Yeah, absolutely. And any circle based hero, I mean, even Mephisto, his lightning is the perfect circumference of these pit fights here. It just envelops the entire choke point there. But it's a good call there. There is the Mei ban. Now, I want to know if core bouncers did their homework here. Blackstormer did break out the Gazlo. Didn't see it all season until they played us last week in the semifinal, but he does play the Gazlo. So could save themselves a ban. They may, if it's not elected as first pick here, priority for the core bouncers, I expect maybe him to opt for the Gazlo here, especially if they second ban Urel again.
But they do go with the Kel'Thas. So they do go with the Kel'Thas ban. So, this does leave the potential, if they're not going to pick up the Gazlo, this could leave Sylvanas open again for the side of the core bouncers. But they seem to be having a lot of success with Asmodan, and this is another good map for Asmodan. It's not his best map, but he can play it. And this is the map that they pulled the Asmodan out first on in their semifinal series, and they were able to just snowball this game. It wasn't their most decisive victory, but it was. But the Tassadar wasn't banned, and Nemesis goes, thank you very much. You had to trade out the Mei for the Tassadar, and Nemesis electing to pick up his Tassadar.
Yep, so there is that Gazlo, and now unfortunately with the Tassadar, he is very immobile when he has that long windup on that Q animation. Gazlo can get the stuns underneath him, and then Ronan being able to just group everybody up with a condemn, with a stun underneath it, and the Grabo bomb. Yep. A whole other team comp, a different style team comp coming out from FC Hong Kong here.
Yeah, we see them definitely shifting, getting, doing the substitution and then just kind of shifting out their entire team strategy here a little bit. We still see the Wombo potential coming in for them. I'm curious what mage they're going to stack with the grab bomb here. We could, with the Kel'Thas ban, could be an Orphea, could be Jaina. I haven't seen Jaina as much, but we do see Anduin and Asmo getting picked up again by the core bouncers. So we've already seen Captain Garble play Anduin once. We know him and Nemesis Credit Clown, have that light bomb synergy communication going pretty well. They seem to have that down. So Credit Clown, I know he plays Garrosh. He plays Garrosh a little differently than I see Garrosh players played. So maybe we'll see the Garrosh coming out. But I'll be interested to see what tank they pair with that Anduin, and then the Asmodan. Again, we've seen it time and time again from the core bouncers. We know what to expect with an Asmodan pick.
I mean, my first pick would be ETC, but I'm also thinking maybe a Murden here. But I expect Cake maybe flexing into it here with the two setups. And there's the Malfurion ban for targeted towards Tiny No Tai, but an Orphea pick here. That is what I'm expecting here.
Yeah, I would agree.
For these points here, and like Nematode again with the Asmodan and knowing a tank is on the way. Even if you pick Sylvanas here, go Overwhelming Affliction, maybe even a Tychus here. Greymane would be fantastic. I know he plays a great Greymane. Do those bullet combos with everything else that's going on.
We know the Sylvanas Unless he wants it, yeah, there's a gray man you called out. We know that Sylvanas, he doesn't necessarily need to pick it up if he doesn't want to, because Captain John's already picked his Asmodan, so they know the core bouncers aren't going Sylvanas this game. So it's completely in their, do we want to go Sylvanas, or do we just say, screw Sylvanas on this game? The Captain John's not going on Sylvanas. We don't need to go Sylvanas. They go with the gray man, which I like. I really like the team comp that's rounding out here for FC Hong Kong. Like I said, it's a different team comp completely, but it's got the engage potential, and it can also fight with the disengage. The Stukov silence, you did call the ETC, and there it is, and Leoric to round it out.
Yeah, I like that a lot. A lot of damage is going to be able to be put into that Entomb, the Tassadar, the Asmodan, ETC, Mosh Pit into all of that damage as well. But with the Gazlo, I mean, Anduin only has that 80-second cooldown. I call it the Yeet of Faith, but the Leap of Faith. But if he can only save one person out of that. And then we will opt for the Jaina this time, which, completely great. Just two great siege heroes here. I thought Orphea would maybe a comfort pick, but not seeing a whole lot of Jaina, but I don't mind the pick.
Yeah, it seems like since Orphea has come to the scene, especially in the last few months with all the buffs and the strength that Orphea had gotten, she did get nerfed a little bit recently, but I didn't think it was devastating for Orphea. And they've been slowly buffing Jaina every patch. She just did get another little buff this patch as well, what we're playing on. But Jaina just hasn't been in the meta. Her damage just doesn't ramp up fast enough. She does have the massive amount of burst that she can put down on one target, unless everybody decides to group up. But the Ring of Frost combo with the Johanna and the Gazlo, I think, is a very powerful combo to set Greymane up to get whatever target he wants, especially since we see the ETC coming out with the Leoric. It's going to be a little bit harder to get the backline because both backliners for the core bouncers are content just sitting back and not getting in the thick of things. Yeah. But, with the rounded out comp, I don't know if we're going to see a Mosh here on ETC, but let's get both teams introduced. On the side of the core bouncers, we got Dan Solo on the Leoric, Captain Garbo sitting on that Anduin, Credit Clown on the ETC, Captain John on the Asmodan, and we got Nemesis flying around on his favorite Tassadar.
All right, and for FC Hong Kong, we have Tiny Notai on the Stukov, Ronan on Johanna, Nematode on Greymane, Cake picking up the Jaina, and Blackstormer, Gazlo this time switching sides.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this sub rotation is going to play out for them. Is the sub going to come in and just completely knock the core bouncers on their butt and throw a wrench in their plan and with this Gazlo play? I'm stoked for it. I hope Blackstormer has just a fantastic game, goes sup. Now you have something else to deal with. Ares in the hole. Tassadar getting caught out here. You can see that Jaina burst that's coming down, how much damage she's able to do. Unfortunately, that won't be up for another little bit, but, already we're seeing some aggression coming out from the side of FC Hong Kong. They're not done. They want to keep going, and they get the kill onto Tassadar. They're coming out guns a-blazing here in Game 2.
Yeah, I'm loving this. They're going to come out here and just smack them in the mouth. They are not folding over. They want this series for themselves here. But yeah, to your point, the entire backline for the core bouncers, like you said, just wants to be safe and poke. And FC Hong Kong has a blow-up comp, and they, ETC, not the highest health pool hero. So if they can catch him kind of in the silence, pull, post level 10 into a bullet and Jaina nonsense, then I think Credit Clown's going to have his hands full in this game.
Yeah. I mean, ETC does have the ability to knock back, and I anticipate him to go that level 4, the increased knockback range for the W, just to give his team that much more, oh shit, they're engaging on us, get away from us kind of thing. Because the backline for the core bouncers is fairly squishy, and Greymane and Jaina want to get in. They want to get in. Johanna's picked to get them in because Johanna's full steam ahead, but we do see a fight going over this bottom camp. It's not finished. They're all grouped up on it, so Kate getting fairly low on the Jaina, able to back off, but it looks like the core bouncers, they have the upper hand here. Turnaround by Nematode. That Greymane Jaina burst going down onto the ETC, like you pointed out, not the highest health champ, and that will be a kill going over for FC Hong Kong yet again. And they get the camp.
Yeah, they do get the camp. So this is that macro that we were talking about a little bit before the match here. 2 camps pushing to the 1 currently for FC Hong Kong. But now I will say, come level 4, I don't think Gazlo's double soak potential will be as great as Leoric's. So if the core bouncers, they wanted to play this, I would let's just Leo double soak top mid and maybe hard push bottom, especially since that's where the first Punisher is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with this rotation set up right now, it favors the FC Hong Kong a little bit. That Jaina Johanna wave clear is just too strong. They can clear a wave in a second. With a Condemn and a Blizzard, like, it's gone. That wave's gone. And the core bouncers, they don't have the wave pressure necessarily to match it. So if they don't force the double soaking, then Johanna and Jaina are just kind of a field day rotating between bot and mid and being able to clear out all these waves and establish more map pressure, which, to your point, you brought up, and like you said in the pregame match, like, that's the key to success for FC Hong Kong. Put the pressure down and out macro them. And we already see Johanna being very aggressive. The wall coming off, but it's Johanna. She don't care. She's just going to pop her passive and be able to handle it. No problem. But we do see this fight starting to break down a little bit over middle. Captain John getting a little aggressive, trying to get onto the Greymane there. Gets pulled away by the Anduin, so thankfully Anduin had that cooldown, but Johanna able to land on everybody, trying to get a little bit more of that Asmodan. Tassadar is able to put out some damage in the backline since Johanna wasn't there, so a little bit of slapping going on back and forth, but Gazlo's already rotated down here. He's able to zone off. It's about 19 to 12 right now as far as the objective goes. Leoric now is here. He's looking for the re-engage. Nice three-man slide by the ETC. Greymane being able to jump in, cause some damage. Silence going down onto the Anduin. He's stuck in the middle of the team. Is Anduin going to die? I don't know how Anduin's not dead. Okay, Anduin finally goes down. Johanna is going to trade her life for the Anduin kill. But man, oh man, I saw Anduin walking around like he was in the wrong neighborhood and he was trying to get out of there quick. And that will be first Punisher going over to FC Hong Kong.
Yeah, absolutely. And I said it was a little late to the game. That was a 4v5 brawl for a little bit. Both the offlaners were up in the top lane, just kind of trading blows themselves there in their own little fight. So, you know, fortunately for core bouncers, this is the first Punisher of the game. It is a mortar Punisher. So not could be worse, could be the Frozen shutting down everything here. So probably just a wall for FC Hong Kong. And my guess is maybe just rotate down here to the their Cosmo camp here, and then potentially the bottom one as well.
Yeah, important to note, though, Leoric did go down to help clear out that Punisher. Meanwhile, Gazlo, he's just enjoying split pushing this thing. So he was able to get some soak there in that mid and that top lane, while Leoric went to go help out clear the Punisher bot lane. So a little bit of more macro value going over to the side of SD Hong Kong. They're able to increase that experience lead even more, and they're smelling blood. They're looking for any fight that they can get. Johanna being very aggressive in this game, too, going, all right, you know what? I played back. It didn't work. I'm going to be aggressive, and I've got a team that's going to be aggressive with me.
All right, and sniffing this out here, the core bouncers are in a defensive position for this Kazu camp, waiting for them to come in here and rotate. The Eat of Faith going to come out onto Nemesis there, but he's not done. He wants to get this Q stacks done. Unstoppable being popped by Ronan as he steps. We'll just kind of get three members of them. The Science going to come out. Mimto going to be able to finish off the kill. ETC getting a little bit low, but he's going to be able to escape with his life. And the bottom camp looks like it was successful. I know they were kind of defensive posture, but they need a pause apparently.
Yeah, looks like we're going to get a pause. I'm going to take us back over to the map screen real quick. Not sure entirely what happened in that. We may have a DC or something going on, but they did get a pause for the core bouncers here. So we will have a slight delay, but yeah, I like what I'm seeing coming out of FC Hong Kong in this game too. There is a great. This was a great reset button and drafting phase by FC Hong Kong, and they will they're looking like they want to take this game to all the way to the house.
Oh, absolutely. So while we have this quick little pause, we'll just do a little stack watch here. So Nemesis going the Q build, standard build on the Tassadar at 60 stacks already. Asmodan heading on that journey himself at 68 stacks. Jaina 15 globes, so 5 globes away from finishing that level 1. Yeah,
5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, they got 1, 2, 3, at least 3 camps so far, 4 camps now. And then whatever soak. So yeah, great job by her there on those.
And she is going the Frostbolt build in addition to it, so she's going to have even more damage coming out onto those Frostbolts. So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then to your point, like I said, the Infernal Shrines is a fantastic, at least Gazlo of old. I don't play the hero that much. I'm not too familiar, but this is a fantastic Gazlo map. So attempt to split push there instead of maybe somebody like the Greymane. Because if he can get to it early, because the nice thing about this map is it does show where it's going to be. He can go and set up his turrets and kind of get control of those points by himself. But I do like the fact that if FC Hong Kong can win a team fight, they can leave Gazlo. It could be like either vice versa. They can leave Gazlo to do the objective by themselves and push hard at the 4-man, or the opposite, where they can just have Gazlo go and do it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know you guys can't see it at home right now, but the next objective is going to be in that top lane. The bottom lane has already been pressed, with that first Punisher. So this is actually really favorable for the side of SC Hong Kong with that Gazlo play. If that Gazlo, they're taking the bot camp now, FC Hong Kong, but once they finish that camp, if they elect to just kind of swap and put Gazlo in the bot lane and send their 4-man top lane to get ready for this next objective and have Gazlo put the pressure in that bot lane, Gazlo can get some serious map pressure going here, especially with the 10s coming online sooner for FC Hong Kong. They're about 3/4 of a level ahead right now. And the camps being the 2 top siege camps being the next objectives to potentially fight over. If they get their 10s, they could look to aggressively posture over the opposing team's camp before the objective starts, and that will either force the core bouncers to back off or send Leoric up, which will give Gazlo more pressure into this bot lane. So they could just try and delay this next objective and let Gazlo continue to push in that bot lane, get this tower down, and then start the fight when Gazlo comes up to join the team after that, which would accelerate that map pressure that the FC Hong Kong are looking for here. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play this. Going to the next one. Oh. Well, I'm going to give it a second before we resume the game after reading that.
But yeah, like, it's to your point, like that's what my team this season loved to do on this map to great success, where we would do the small rotation, grab the 2 camps if we could grab them, then immediately go to bruisers and then push top, and then we usually drafted a Zool or a Leoric for the double soak to do that as well, and just try to get as much value top as possible pre first objective.
Yeah, it looks like all teams are getting ready. We're seeing the readies start coming out, so we will start. I'll switch back over in a second. I'm going to wait for this chat to kind of clear out a little bit, so we can make sure that you're all not reading at home what's been going on for the cause of this pause. But we will. It looks like they're going to do a countdown. Thankfully, if they could start from 10, that would be lovely, because then all the chat would just clear out on its own. But all right.
Yeah, at least it'll eventually clear out.
It'll clear it out. We'll start up with the game here. All right, game's back on. Let's get back in to this series over here, and we do see FC Hong Kong finishing off that camp in the bot lane. Looks like everything is going back to normal. I do need to turn chat off. I have it off in my game, but for some reason, when I'm an observer, it comes back on. So I keep forgetting to turn it off as an observer as well. But we do see the 4-man. They elected to just power up. Maybe they're going to go back, get a full reset, and then rotate to that top lane. Gazlo is in the mid lane right now. I don't think he's planning on going bot lane. He looks like he's rotating up mid, so we're not going to see the Gazlo creating that pressure in the bot lane. Instead, he's going to elect to just continue doing what he's been doing. 10's just now coming online for SC Hong Kong, and ultimates are going to be probably exactly what we expect. The Curse Bullet, Bless Shield.
Here. Pre-10, see if we can get in here and win this fight, but it looks like they're gonna just let it happen. Maybe just catch a couple more waves of soak. Just do the right thing here. It looks like the call was made here a little bit late to grab that bruiser camp, but usually you want the one to cap second. But unfortunately here the objective for both of these camps, the objective is top, so both teams will already be up here in the lane, so it's not going to be left alone. Johanna going to be able to just catch that soak safely here. So we see some positioning going on in the middle here.
Yeah, see Johanna, she's itching for a fight. Unfortunately, 10s are online for both teams now. 10s are pretty much exactly... ETC did go with the Mosh. There is a lot of interrupts on the side of the FC Hong Kong, so it's going to be important to see which member of FC Hong Kong says, I've got the ETC, don't worry about it. My thought is it's going to be Stukov, and Stukov is really easy. Ooh, we do see the Attuned go down from the Leoric onto the Gazlo, but that's going to be a 4-man grab bomb. Jaina comboed off of that Johanna Greymane. Oh my gosh, that's just a massacre. Oh, dearie me. That is what the combo from FC Hong Kong can do, and that was just illegal. Oh my goodness.
Drafters awake at night here, and this is what we were talking about here in that little bit of a break. Gazlo is going to be able to just be able to solo capture this objective here. They have the camp pushing already. We got Leo getting down, unstoppable being popped by Johanna, chasing down onto Daniel. The Condemned going to come out. She don't have the Q, but the Yi of Faith is going to come out. The slide's going to come out to try and catch Nematode and Ronin out, but this still up. They're going to start taking tower shots if they do aggro here behind enemy lines. But it looks like they're going to be able to get out of here. So, you know, core bouncers do save their fort. Nope. Looks like this may go down here, but yeah, what a wombo combo from the side.
I mean, we saw it in the draft. You know, that's why I didn't know if it was going to be Orphea or Jaina since the Kale Toss was banned. I anticipated the Orphea, but Jaina has the lockdown that Orphea doesn't. Crushy Jaw is a little more challenging to land. In that fight, it wasn't because Leoric Doom was there. But in most fights, the Crushy Jaw just takes a little more skill to be able to do. Whereas the Ring of Frost, it's like Johanna throws out the Blessed Shield, and you're like, all right, I want them right here. And so the Jaina pick, I mean, we can see it's coming out doing wonders. Look at the damage. Jaina already having 9,000 damage out of 15 on that Frostbite level passive to get that Icy Block. She's just putting out an immense amount of damage, and the Arcane Punisher just having his way with the side of the core bouncers in this top lane right now.
Yeah, and what a turnaround for Blackstorm there. You know, it was almost the call an ambulance for me, or not for me, meme coming out from Blackstorm there. She did get caught here as we see another engage happen.
Yeah, ETC just getting caught out again, locked down in that fight. Good ult control coming out from the side of the FC Hong Kong, and they're able to push, and they're looking like they're trying to get some pressure on this keep. The Curse Bullet does go down onto the Leoric. He gets down to about half health. He should be able to just lifesteal his way back up, no problem. Jaina getting caught out a little bit by the Asmon and has to walk off, maybe a little too far forward, trying to land on a couple of those combos. So Jaina getting low. If they can't heal her back up, this may be the end of the siege. Looks like they're trying, but the nice Tomb Stukov with the shove of destiny. Leoric getting knocked way out of there, and nothing else is going to be able to follow up onto the side of SC Hong Kong, so they'll just walk away. Stukov coming out clutch in that fight, and that's just more map pressure going over to FC Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's super scary. I mean, Cake was really low, and Jaina is the thirsty girl there. But seeing in the chat, that she did go water. She did go water elemental.
I didn't look.
Yeah,
yep.
She went Ellie with Icy Veins. So come 20, I forget the name of the talent there, but just Welly just getting all of Jaina's abilities in the cooldown from Icy Veins. She just come level 20, like she can just pump out so much damage. It's not even funny.
Especially, I mean, it works well with this combo as well. Yeah, level 20, she's gonna put out immense amounts of damage with that Icy Veins, water elemental boost, where she's able to put down, basically use all of her skills twice. The water elemental puts out a little less damage than Jaina does, but ultimately it's just a massive amount of damage that Jaina is able to be pumping out here. And it allows them to also have that peel potential that necessarily Ring of Frost doesn't necessarily have. But Nemesis, getting caught out here by the Johanna. Johanna throwing everything down onto the Tassadar, but unfortunately the rest of the team just didn't come with her, and so Nemesis is able to just walk away from that entire combo. You know, Johanna single-handedly got her down to pretty much about a quarter HP left on the Tassadar, but the rest of the team just electing to finish up the siege potential and continue to create more of this map pressure going on.
Yeah, and we talked about it a little bit. I don't think we've seen ETC try and attempt a mosh pit yet. I think he's too busy trying to get the feel for the team. I mean, Ronan is just playing out of his mind on this Johanna here, just being and living in the back line on these squishies.
Yeah, it looks like looks like the side of the core bouncers are looking for a fight. They know 16s aren't quite online for FC Hong Kong, so if they are going to pick a fight, this is where they want it. Once 16s come online, not advisable anymore. So both teams kind of setting up, but ETC, he didn't elect to go for that increased knockback range on level 4. He did elect to go for the movement speed for the rest of his team. So that is going to, it's going to hurt his team with the engages. When the side of FC Hong Kong want to engage, he's not going to be able to disengage the opposing team as much. He will give them more movement speed to get out of the Gazlo grab bomb, but when the grab bomb's followed by that nice combo coming out from the Johanna and the Gazlo yet again, and that's exactly what I was just about to talk about. When the combo comes from the Blessed Shield first, it doesn't matter how much movement speed, you're stuck. There's no medallions anymore. You are locked down, and that combo coming out from SC Hong Kong just devastating yet again, killing 3 members of the core bouncers, and SC Hong Kong just having their way with the map right now, able to push down that tower and ultimately get at least this entire wall, maybe the health fountain as well. We got 3 seconds until Leoric comes up, so maybe they will just be comfortable with the wall. But this objective is now active, and they are looking like they're going to go back and try and pick this up.
Yeah, 16's online. They were able to take there that wall, and this is a frozen Punisher. So when John Cena shows up to this keep, he will be able to shut it down, and all of their alts should be back up, and they will probably try and end if they can get any picks there. Just taking a peek here, we are at 12 kills to 1, so heavily favoring this team comp style for FC Hong Kong in this map. Soak-wise, Gazlo a little ahead of Leoric, but not outlandishly slow. Leo doing a fantastic job keeping his team in this game. 16's now online for the core bouncers here as they maybe rotate, but they're just going to try and defend and live to fight another day here.
Yeah, just look at the amount of XP difference in the heroes category. Kills 7,000 to 500, and that is massive. Like the structures is only 2,000. That just goes to show it's better to pick a fight and run away if you're starting to lose it than to just try and get that one kill. Because if you lose 4 for 1, you're still going way behind. And we see the Curse Bullet Gav Bomb going, and Nemesis is gone. He's just instantly deleted from that fight due to that Greymane and Gav Bomb combo. ETC is going in with the Light Bomb, but again, to your point, oh, there you go. He tried to do the mosh, but he got stunned, got silenced, got John Cena, got everything, and that mosh does not go off. No music coming out of that ETC.
Game 2 going over to FC Hong Kong here as the core call is called here. John Cena at half health. Cake getting awfully low here. Just got to be careful of that AoE damage. The jump coming out onto Captain Garbo there. Anduin is going to walk away here. The core is at 50% and falling. Great Asthma Q coming out here, and the Root's coming out, but GG's coming out. And game 2.
GG.
Game 2. We have a series, ladies and gentlemen. Bless in the chat. I want to see a game 5.
I mean, holy guacamole. That combo that came out of FC Hong Kong, that was brutal. Sorry, I gave the win over to the core bouncers. That was not the core bouncers. That was FC. We got a 1-1 series, y'all.
Yeah, but we sure do.
I mean, there's so much to dissect from that match. Like the first and foremost, major props to FC Hong Kong to lose what I would consider they were in it for a while in game 1, but then it just fell apart. To come to be in game 1 in the finals and to have a game go that way, and then to mentally reset, change your entire draft strategy up, and come out and deliver that kind of a game, that just shows why they are one of the top seeds in this division and why they are looking, this is going to be a series. They didn't give up. They didn't fall over. They came back and they just punched them right back. That was lick for lick right there in game 1 and 2. And we are going to be headed to game 3.
Yeah, and just, and the same thing, I mentioned that with Ronan on how he was going to, if there was a bad engage, if a game didn't go their way, if they were happen to be losing, how they keep the team up, because, it's hard to team fight a team. I know from experience fighting the core bouncers, when you are down. But this is it here. Like you said, rotating the team in. They are ready in the whims here to jump in here, throw their hats in the ring, flex their own muscles in this match, and it really shined here. So I'm excited now on the opposite end here to see what the core bouncers do here.
Yeah, I mean that Gazlo. I mean, you mentioned the Gazlo. You mentioned Black Stormer coming in as a sub. I was saying how excited I was to see what he could do with this substitution, but look at his stats. He led everything. He he swept the entire board. Yep. He came in and he delivered a gem of a Gazlo game. He was landing 3-4-man grab bombs like they were nothing. Mm-hmm. And just to land those, the rest of his team, I mean, the Greymane and Jaina, they were waiting for that. And when the gas bomb goes down, Greymane and Jaina were just like, yes, please, I'll have another, and just wiped the floor. And that was nasty. And to your point, I don't think ETC ever got off a mosh, at least not that I could see.
I think I only saw the one desperately there at the end, and unfortunately, they had John Cena to follow up, and unfortunately, any stun there if he was going to be able to get anybody off. So, I mean, very, very well played and executed by FC Hong Kong. Because usually ETC wants to slide into the team and wants to engage, but there was no dive potential, with the Tassadar and the Asmodan. They can kind of poke from afar, but not really being able to, close the gap if he was able to catch anybody out of position.
Yeah, and you're really looking for that burst damage to follow up the ETC Mosh if he's able to land it. First off, I didn't necessarily think he was going to go Mosh. I thought he was going to stage dive and try and create pressure on the map and then join the team fight later to match the immense wave clear that the FC Hong Kong had. And just because FC Hong Kong has so many, I mean, Stukov in and of himself is a fantastic ETC counter. Like ETC goes in for a Mosh Stukov, as long as he's not caught in it, just goes nope, and that's it. Like it's over. So, but they had the Johanna who has like 2 interrupts plus the passive that she can cement the interrupt. You have the Gazlo grab bomb if he's sensing that's going to go off, or the stun with the laser, or the stun with the trap if it doesn't go off. If he gets caught or something like that. So they had all these interrupts already set up for the Mosh, and that just goes to show like he couldn't set it up. Like they could never set up the fight that they were, the side of the core bouncers. They could never set up the fight that they were looking for, and they didn't have the burst to follow up. Even if they did get it, I mean, Tassadar, yes, he's got the burst, but he can't do it by himself. And Asmodan, he's got to get to that late game in order to have that follow up burst, and it just wasn't there.
Yeah, I think we were pumped. We were, these teams are delivering on what we wanted to see, what everybody in the chat is here to see. And I just want to know now, what does now in the core bouncers positions, they elected for first pick in the first matchup. They were given first pick from FC Hong Kong this time. Let's see, like you said, if the norm here late in the season is map pick, get on those comfort maps, maybe those smaller maps, to those team fight style.
I'm looking at the maps we have left. We've got Alterac Pass, Battlefield for Eternity, Dragonshire Tomb, or Towers of Doom. Sorry, I do know both teams like Alterac Pass. Like in our pregame stats summary, we pulled out Alterac Pass. Core bouncers played a lot. They love it. FC Hong Kong, they play it. They love it. So I anticipate we'll see an Alterac Pass potentially sometime tonight. I don't recall seeing the core bouncers ever on Battlefield for Eternity, so maybe we'll get that to pop out. But like if FC Hong Kong gets map pick, they may be like, okay, maybe we'll take him to Battlefield of Eternity. Towers of Doom, I know, is just it's like Infernal Shrines. You have to see a Towers of Doom match in every series. Like you can't go a series without seeing Towers of Doom. It's just a fantastic map. But
and you kind of want to put that one early because that's kind of like a swaying style map, right?
Yeah.
So like it's not one you just necessarily want to win on. You can start on that one, and if it doesn't go your way, fine. But you definitely don't want to end on that map. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if we did see Towers of Doom here. But BOE, that does seem to, we don't see the core bouncers on it all that much. But that does sway into those those pit fights there with the Immortals, and then here we are, Battlefield of Eternity.
And it was the FC Hong Kong that picked Battlefield of Eternity. So core bouncers elected to get first pick. And so we did pretty much exactly what I thought. FC Hong Kong says, you know what? I haven't seen core bouncers play Battlefield of Eternity that much. I don't know if they play it, but I know core bouncers haven't. I don't think the core bouncers have played it much. So SC Hong Kong's like, you know what? Let's just take them to Battlefield of Eternity, and that's where we're going for game number 3. Interesting though, because I mean, maybe they've got a lot of confidence off of that last game because they just slapped them in the mouth. But this is a very team fight heavy map, and we know the core bouncers are very well known for their team fight capabilities. They didn't necessarily show it in that second game, but over the course of this season, we've seen it time and time again from the core bouncers. They're very organized in their team fighting ability. So picking a team fight oriented map as opposed to like the Towers of Doom or Alterac Pass, where Towers of Doom is a little more team fight heavy, but Alterac Pass may not be team fight heavy. They like to go for a team fight map on Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah, I think Alterac Pass kind of mimics the Cursed Hollow, the larger kind of macro maps. You got the 2 bosses. I mean, you only have the 1 camp spawns every minute and a half that needs to be taken, free XP style. But I think the contentious pick here is going to be who gets the Gazelle this time. Does it get banned this time? Blackstormer can definitely do some damage on the URL, jumping in, hammering into the Immortal Stun. Same thing with ETC Boops. It's a good Diablo map. Taunt Varian was a decent tank here, with the medallion meta. Does he fall off now? Just trading taunt, which is I think a 15-second cooldown for a 5-minute cooldown. But just the taunt variant works as well.
The Li Ming. You can't say enough about Li Ming on this map. This is a very good Li Ming map. I know Nemesis plays Li Ming. He loves his Li Ming. We saw Nemesis play Vala too. This is a very good Vala map. So this map is typically known. It's going to be interesting. Again, the ban strategy, because now do they keep banning each other's comfort picks, or do they ban the map instead? Because this is a very heavy race map where we might see the Greymane ban, we might see the Raynor ban, we might see the Vala ban, we might see the Artanis ban, and now we're shifting from the overall meta bans or what teams have researched to a more map strategy where, okay, I don't want you to have this race champion, but I want this race champion. So it's going to be a little bit different in the pick and ban strategy on how they want to approach it. And if they go with the similar bans, how much race are we going to see coming in from both teams here?
Yeah, and Li Ming, I'm glad you mentioned Li Ming, but like Cake 87% win rate this season on Li Ming, so that's going to be a contentious pick, and it's going to be this tug of war here in the draft of the give and get. Like, what do we let them have, but able to secure for ourselves here as we move into these bans.
Yeah, and I mean, this opens up a whole nother discussion about what to pick in this map. I expected the Cassia still. Cassia is fantastic. I know Nematode plays a very good Cassia, so and May. So again, we're seeing more of the comfort picks getting banned out rather than the map picks. So this is going to leave a whole lot of race potential available to both teams. And I mean, if Greymane and Vala don't get banned out, then we may see each team picking up their respective that race potential for both teams. Gazlo getting banned out, so they don't want to see Blackstormer ever again on that Gazlo because he just wrecked them. And Sylvanas rounding it out.
Too. For sure. And Sylvanas, again, with the Punisher, going to be able to shut down, get the extra push, and get a little bit more than what you wouldn't normally with these Punishers.
So first pick, I mean, is this where we see the Vala first pick potential? Is this where we see the Greymane? Is this where we see the Li Ming? Like, I mean, Tassadar is still open. Okay, it is Tassadar. Yeah, so he does go for the Tassadar instead of the Li Ming on this map. But that does, as to your point, Cake now has Li Ming available. He doesn't necessarily have to pick it now, but if he's worried about it getting banned out, he does go for it. Okay, and that might be just he didn't want it to get banned out in the next ban phase. So the Li Ming did get picked up in that first rotation.
So Vala is still up and available here. I wouldn't mind at least grabbing her and at least get first crack at healers, I think. We're going to go with the Anduin again and a Nubarak this time. So gonna, people take a Nubarak as a Li Ming counter, gonna dive in there, gonna web wrap her. But at the same time, if you don't web wrap Li Ming, all of her damage is fantastic for breaking that open. So it's kind of, again, just at odds 50-50 here for the Nubarak Li Ming, but could see the Vala ban. One of my favorite heroes, Raynor, fantastic on this map with Exterminator at level 1. And
not anymore.
That will get banned. Not gonna happen. No potential here. But Ray Bay, the oversized minion, gonna see the third ban from FC Honka.
Yeah, I always like picking a Nubarak. I'm a tank mate. I play assassin on my team because that's where they want me to go. But I'm a tank main to heart. Always played it, and I love a Nubarak into Li Ming. Like it's fantastic, but it has to fit the team. Like you have to build it well with the rest of the team. So it's going to be interesting to see how they round this team comp out. They need heavy burst onto whoever Nubarak decides I want this person to die. They do have the light bomb to help out, but Nubarak has an immense amount of lockdown onto a single target. So, and it looks like Vala wants to be that target. Important to note, Nubarak's heavy Li Ming counter, not only for the cocoon, but the beetles as well. If he goes beetle build and is able to put those beetles off, it basically it just infuriates a Li Ming player when they're like, I've got this person locked down, and then Nubarak walks away, drops a beetle, and says, your combo just did nothing. Like nothing.
Well, see, that's the thing about Li Ming and even like a Chromie. I mean, Tassadar can do the same thing, but you can, if it's on your side of the map, you can kind of poke from the safety of the camp.
Yes.
There. But again, depending on the shifting and where you can be. So the positioning, I think, is going to be make or break here. Lunar is going to get picked up here. Fantastic burn. And then Dan Solo grabbing Stab Daddy himself for that offlane against Urel. So that trade is good, great. 100% based damage.
Malfurion was left open for no tie, though.
Yeah,
of point, when we went through the whole draft, we were like, oh, wait, we didn't see the Malfurion ban coming out. They banned the Greymane, so Malfurion did go over to no tie. But, I mean, we do get to see Captain John on Lunara, which is one of his comfort picks. So he's been playing Asmodan Game 1 and Game 2, not necessarily one of his comfort picks. Now he's on Lunara in the comfort pick, and he loves Lunara. So, you know, that mobility that Lunara can have may be a little hard to lock down. Johanna is one of the better tanks to lock down a Lunara champion. So, I mean, I got to say, coming out of the draft, I like FC Hong Kong. I love what they've come out with a draft here in Game 3. The Johanna is able to blind. Unfortunately, most of the damage is spell damage coming out of the side of the core bouncers, but able to provide that blind, keep the opponent, negate the opposing team's race while racing on your own side, and the Li Ming poke potential. Just stay off of my side. I'm really liking what I saw out of the draft for FC Hong Kong in this Game 3.
Yeah, and I definitely think the silence is going to be the thing. I mean, the core bouncers has the dive now to deal with whenever Anubarak wants to, he can E in, he can look at the light bomb, and then but Lunara and Imperius and Anubarak are all in there. They catch the silence from the Malfurion. Lunara can't hop back out. Anubarak, if he's in, he's in. He can't do anything anyway. And then Imperius, I mean, with the blind from Johanna, that's all his self-sustained is on those auto attacks.
All right, let's get these teams introduced. On the side of the core bounce, we got Captain John Jay sitting on Lunara, Credit Clown on the Anubarak, Captain Garbo on the Anduin, Nemesis sitting on that Tassadar, and we've got Dan Solo on the Imperius.
All right, and FC Hong Kong looking to get their first lead of the series here. On the Red Trunks, we have Ronin on the Johanna, Nematode on Bala, Blackstormer on Urael, Cake on the Li Ming, and Malfurion being played by Tiny Notai.
Whew. All right, so reset. We're now in a best of 3 situation. Okay, best of 5 was fun, but now we're in a best of 3. So now it's a little more crunch time. Again, we're probably going to see. I like the wave clear coming out from the side of the core bouncers a little more on this map, but the wave clear doesn't necessarily make you advantageous for map pressure on this one. It sets you up a little bit better to grab some of the camps, or at least initiate the camp fight, but both teams should have no problem since it is a short lane. Both teams should have no problem contesting all of those camps. So it's, wave clear isn't the most important thing on this map as opposed to some of those other maps, those bigger maps.
Absolutely. It's all about the burn on this one. Do you got that race?
Yeah, and we see the Vala coming in with a Hungering Arrow build, at least at level 1. So she is going to go for that Hungering Arrow race build, which will give advantage over to the side of FC Hong Kong for the race. So it's going to be how they decide to set up on that race. We do see, Ronin and Nemesis kind of slapping each other back and forth here in the bot lane, but nothing really going on yet. Maybe both teams are, we're back to that best of 3, and both teams are kind of going to sit back now and go, you know what? I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to make a mistake. I'm just going to sit back and play safe.
Yeah, and I like the Malfurion. Now, he is a little bit out of mana here, but I like the Malfurion into the poison damage from Lunara. But come late game, Tassadar's Qs will be hitting like a truck. So, he may have problems keeping up. So, we'll see what he takes level 10. I expect the silence to come out here looking at this enemy team comp. But other than that, standard builds across the board, I think, for everybody else.
Yeah, neither team is electing to go start up their either top or bot camp or their each other's siege camp. Siege camp doesn't need to necessarily be picked up. You can clear out this wave and go pick up the siege man as 4, but don't want either team to be low. Johanna getting a little bit low in that fight, but important to note, mana pools, both sides. The core bouncers are a lot lower on their mana pool than the FC Hong Kong, which is going to be in FC Hong Kong's favor when they get to this burn phase. The mana is not going to be there on the side of the FC Hong, or the core bouncers aren't going to have the mana pools available, and they are mage spell damage dependent in this burn phase. So the core or the FC Hong Kong, they have massive advantage in this first phase right now.
Yep, and Imperius getting chunked down, having to back here, but I was going to note that, Imperius's can clear is absolutely terrible. That if this was picked up a little bit longer, if he didn't have to back, he was going to be stuck in lane, or they were going to have to rotate majority of their burn and Tassadar up to deal with that camp.
I mean, yeah, FC Hong Kong, they're the ones that are going to be the aggressors here, which they should. The side of the core bouncers, they're going to play a little bit defensive here. Imperius goes in, doesn't land the route onto Black Stormer. Black Stormer getting fairly low in this fight on Urel, able to walk away. Johanna sitting there as low, does get the impale onto the Johanna, and the Johanna goes down. Now everybody on SC Hong Kong, they're running for their lives. Nematode getting fairly low. Will he bleed out? He gets the tap off. He was down to 10, but he will get himself healthy again. Did not go down. Important to note, the top lane was cleared by the sides of the core bouncers, and now they will go ahead and they will start burning on their own side. Looks like Cake and Tiny Notai, Malfurion and Li-Ming are here to try and cause some sort of defense, but death timers are low. Everybody on the side of SC Hong Kong, they're coming back. Nemesis is sitting okay, but Captain John's getting a little bit low on the mana. Dan's trying to zone off on the Imperius as much as he can. We do see the Black Stormer going in on the Credit Clown here. Meanwhile, Johanna's just trying to bully off that Imperius, but halftime does go over in favor of the core bouncers, and it looks like the side of SC Hong Kong, they're going to go defend. Interesting that Vala is coming with them, trying to provide some damage, maybe get some kills rather than go ahead and try and burn while the other four decide to defend. But Credit Clown, he burrows in with that new rack very aggressively. He may get punished here. Urel jumping in, trying to get some sort of damage down, anything that they could possibly get, but just the damage isn't quite there. They're not focusing the same target quite yet, and everybody's just kind of sitting around a little unhealthy. Urel is very low on her own mana pool, but the stun comes out onto the Anubrak from the Immortal. Immortal assist going over, and that will be 1 kill. 2 kills. Vala did get the Hungering Arrow off onto Anubrak, and now Johanna can solo defend while the rest of the team races on their own side.
Yeah, and we're going to see Captain John rotate up their 7s online now for FC Hong Kong. Even though they did have the kill advantage there, but, just Imperius having the back and missing 2 lanes of soak did opt for the level lead here for FC Hong Kong. But just, I think, it goes without noting that just Li-Ming resets in these fights are going to sway it one way or another. So I think, like you said, Anubrak, she's going to be the target, I think, each and every time in these team fights.
Yeah, and we see the Immortal, it goes to the to the more healthy lane in these fights, so electing to go bot lane since top lane had the siege pressure. Immortal's shield fairly low. It's an Immortal, but it's a low shield Immortal, so they shouldn't have trouble burning that Immortal down to put them in melee range, and they end up doing that. So I expect this to just be a wall. I don't expect it to be much more than a wall with this first phase, but we'll see if the side of SC Hong Kong are able to maybe get a little bit of a pick or at least make people unhealthy, but they're already backing off. They got the wall. They're happy with that. That's going to be a little bit of map pressure going over to them, and they look like they're going to maybe go set up for this bot camp. The core bouncers are going down as well. Ronan does find on the Johanna onto the Anubarak, and that is going to be a little bit of burst going down, but Captain John, he's got Cake pretty much isolated out. Cake has to go back and, give respect over to that Lunar. Doesn't want to get soloed out by that Lunar since he's using his burst mainly on whatever the target Johanna calls in. So each team kind of just backing up, not really doing much.
Yep, just taking a peek here in the offlane. Black Stormer actually getting traded out here pretty well. Opting to go 4Q build is Dan Solo, so having just an immense amount of burst damage coming out there into the Urel, but, you can kind of...
Ooh, Vala got rooted out there by the Anduin. The Anduin pick coming in huge. Vala getting knocked out by the Nubrak, but he does go down to the bleed from the Lunara. That is the single target lockdown that the core bouncers do have with their whole comp is basically built around that single target lockdown with the Anubrak, the Imperius. The Imperius wasn't there for that fight, but Captain Garbo able to land that stun on the Anduin, and Anubrak goes, I'll follow on that, no problem. And it was onto a squishy, so that will be a kill going over to the core bouncers. They should get this bottom camp uncontested.
Yeah, and the nice thing about the Tassadar wall is it's a small form of CC that even Johanna's trait can't deal with, right? She's got to walk the long way around some of those. So if they do decide to jump on Johanna, they put the wall behind her, and it's the internal lockdown, and then they can even do a front to back. So looking for that pick comp. We see both teams rotating here on their Blizzard camps. The trade underneath the tower here, Black Stormer is trying to do the best they can to get as much value. The Q going to come out is going to miss Black Stormer as we see Urel rotate down in here as Imperius is left to back, being manaless. So a little bit of an advantage here in this Immortal fight.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Black Stormer was communicating that, if they know the Imperius is back, and they could be a little bit of aggressive and try to get Vala set up to do at least some damage on their Immortal. But looks like both teams, again, they're playing really passive. They don't want to be the one to make that mistake and snowball this game. Thankfully, this is a little bit less forgiving for a snowball as long as it's not around the Immortal. But right now, we're around the Immortal phase, so each team's got to be a little bit careful. Johanna should have no problem solo defending this Immortal while the rest of her team clears out, but the Blessed Shield does go down onto Tassadar. Tassadar is caught out here. That is a kill already going down onto Tassadar, and the damage coming out from Malfurion does end up being the root. Li Ming trying to just burn him out, get him out as much as they can, but that was just a massive burst down onto the Tassadar player, getting caught out just a little too far ahead, and that's a kill going over for FC Hong Kong.
I will note it is a black hole. Then maybe the anti-dive comp from the Urel and from last game there. Love the pickup there from core bouncers.
Yeah, Imperius goes in, he lands a stun onto the Urel, but Urel pops the ultimate and is starting to absorb back up, and Imperius pretty much just got baited into the Urel. That is a kill again going over, and this is what I mentioned a little bit before, the staggering that sometimes the core bouncers, they get in those 4v5s, but like, I think we can get this one, guys, and then they don't. And then it just keeps those death timers rolling. And this is going to be a massive Immortal, second Immortal coming over for FC Hong Kong. They got to, this should be at least, it looks like it's going to go bot lane again because of the tower health. But the FC Hong Kong, they're in the driver's seat now.
I was hoping to see this here. They're going to split push. I'm hoping maybe to just catch Imperius out and get 2 forts here. I love this call here from FC Hong Kong.
Yeah, I agree. Push the least. I can't talk. The less healthy lane. Try to pick off this Imperius if they can, and they should get this. Imperius isn't going to be able to stop this at all. He'll be able to dive, but he has terrible wave clear. He's got his spike, but Ronan's just going to be able to basically bully him off, and this will be top tower going over. And unless the sides of the core bouncers can deal with the Immortal bot lane, which it looks like they are, that may be a double. Yep, that is a double tower going over for FC Hong Kong. Fantastic call coming out to put the 4-man in the top lane rather than push with the Immortal.
Yeah, and then that's that macro game that we were talking about there. Now, I expected Ronan to actually rip the Blessed Shield there and get the pick onto the Imperius there, but just being patient with it, holding it up for, my guess is probably an engage on the team as a source of heal here, since Tiny No Tide did go Tranquility versus the Silence Ult.
Yeah, both FC Hong Kong, they no longer have any Immortal pressure. All 5 members of the core bouncer here. Important note, they are up 13. If there ever, I always say, if there ever is a talent to fight down, 13 is a talent to fight down. They don't have to force. There's nothing on the map right now that they need to pick that 13 fight. If it was like an objective fight or the Immortal fight, 13's the fight to fight down, but nothing's doing right now. Everybody's just happy to go back to farming. FC Hong Kong, they will get these camps in the top and bot lane more than likely. They'll be able to increase their XP lead a little bit, but for the core bouncers, what they need to do, they need to come together, they need to group everybody up, and they need to be able to find a fight that Anubarak can get in and find a target like the Vala or the Malfurion. The Li Ming, if he can, but to your point, I think it'd be better if he dove in on target, put Li Ming under, and just tried to blow up whatever target that the Anubarak is able to find.
Yeah, so all the lanes are pushed out. They just need to be patient, and that's one of the hardest things to learn about this game in particular, with all the force team fights in the objectives and a lot of stuff to go on versus some of the other MOBAs. Is just patience. I mean, it's hard to sit still, right? You feel like time just lasts an eternity here. The ping's sort of coming out, but that's what I would do. I would almost Tassadar has the wave clear. I would almost put him in the off lane to just kind of poke the Urel, and then between the Lunara and the Imperius. Following up on anything from the Nubarak, they have enough burst and damage that I think they can kind of secure the kills they're looking for.
Yeah, both teams picking up their siege camps right now, and we are going to see probably each team just respond, clear out the opposing team's camp before we see any big fight, but the Mortals are on flipped. They're on an opposing team, so we may see FC Hong Kong looking like they just want to burn this first phase and then go deal with the minions at the halftime show, which it benefits them to do that. You can already see just the amount of race potential. FC Hong Kong did get a little bit of a head start, but still, the race potential FC Hong Kong has compared to the core bouncers is just massive. And now we will see this second Immortal phase coming out. Both teams electing to defend. The core bouncers wanting to go defend their own side. FC Hong Kong, they're doing it because they want to clear out that bot lane minion wave. But Johanna, she's like, nope, all right, I'm ready. I've sat long enough. Let's go get a fight. Anubarak looking like he's trying to pick a fight, but isn't able to fight anything. Light Bomb does go down. He is able to find the Li Ming, but he doesn't have any follow-up going down. He puts the Malfurion under. Ronan very low on that Johanna. Massive burst coming down from Dancelo on the Imperius onto Nematode, and that will be Johanna going down. Follow-up kill onto Vala from Dancelo. That Imperius flank did massive amounts of damage to the backline, and that was a big win there for the core bouncers.
Yeah, they were able to see Blackstormer, deleting that or trying to clear that camp, and that was just a great engage. Even talent tiers You know, both camps pushing in respective lanes. They have the, you know, the walls available there. I understand why to clear that lane, but just great, you know, map presence and, you know, just patience coming out from core bouncers.
Yeah, I agree with the lane. I don't think the lane call was necessarily wrong, but the whole team's got to be on the same page there. It looked like Johanna was just a little too ambitious trying to get up and get the fight while that Urel was still trying to clear that bot lane, get it cleared out. And so that put him in a bad situation, that 4v5 fight where the core bouncer said, hey, we know Urel's bot lane. Let's just go back in on this. They're able to get the Malfurion under without the Malfurion getting knocked out by the Li Ming, because Li Ming was being focused by the Nubarak, and so they were able to get the kill. And this is, you know, this is a quarter shield immortal. This is going to do some damage. This may at least be able to even up the pressure in top lane. Lightbomb does go down onto the Nubarak. He lands the stun onto Vala and gets chain stunned by the immortal. So that is a kill going down onto the one of the main damage dealers. But Li Ming able to respawn and get a counter kill onto the Nubarak. Nice ability by the Li Ming to see that, recognize it, be able to put that burst down onto the Nubarak. And that should prevent any further pressure from the core bouncers onto this tower. They may look to try and create some sort of pressure with the Imperius, since Imperius can provide some of that front line. But they figure that they're going to get this top tower. They do end up getting the tower, and that's all that they're interested in getting at this point.
Yep, 16 is just coming online there for the core bouncers there. But, you know, a lot of the XP now is, you know, kills are even up at 5 now. You know, it's just those, you know, that other 4. You know, it's at this point it's just structure and it's passive XP anyhow. So, you know, the later this game goes on, it's the closer it's going to be.
Yeah, important to note, the top wall did go down during that whole phase. I clicked to it for a second, but the top lane did not get dealt with by the side of the core bouncers, so the siege minions were able to push down the entire fort. So it looks like FC Hong Kong, on the side of FC Hong Kong. So FC Hong Kong are looking like they want to create some of this more pressure in this top lane, especially since they know that Anduin hasn't backed yet. Anduin just now recalled, so he is coming to the fight, but now they got to be careful. Black Hole coming out from the Tassadar, landing on the Urel. Urel already popped the ultimate, but didn't get focused, so she only healed about quarter of her health back up. Thankfully, the disengage came out with the Malfurion popping the ultimate, and so the side of the core bouncers, they elected to back off now. But now they know many ultimates are down from FC Hong Kong. If they're looking for a fight, this is where they want to get it. They have ultimate advantage significantly in this fight, but the disengage potential from the side of SC Hong Kong was just a little too much, and the core bouncers elected not to follow up. But they do know Urel popped her ultimate. That's a massive cooldown down on the side of the Urel. Malfurion popped his ultimate, so Malfurion's got about another 45-ish seconds until his ultimate comes back online, and they're looking like they want to be aggressive on this fight. They found the Malfurion. Nubarak goes in, but he puts the Malfurion under, lands a stun into the Urel and to the Vala. The Malfurion comes back out, but he's coming back out in the wrong neighborhood, and he goes down. This Black Stormer gets very low and does go down as well to the bleeds coming out of Lunar, and that's 2 more kills going over to the sides of the core bouncers. And now they will have, you know, it's great to have race, but when you're down 2 members, you can't race. And now the core bouncers should just have their way with this immortal with these 40-second death timers.
Yep, absolutely. Now Ronan is going to be able to stop down there, clear that camp, so to just kind of confirm that this Punisher is going to go bottom. The Nematode and Cake are going to rotate top to deal with that other camp that was just stolen from them here. You know, res timers are long now, post level 16, so they're not going to be able to kind of do anything. So this is going to be a full shield immortal pushing bottom in favor, and we're going to see the first potential lead here for the core bouncers with this 3rd objective.
Yeah, 4th? I think this is 4. The first 2 went over. Yeah, this is immortal number 4. First 2 went to the FC Hong Kong. The 3rd one, the core bouncers got. But this is it. This is where core bouncers, if they were ever looking for a chance to get back in the game, I mean, they've already gotten themselves to this point. Now with this fully shielded immortal and this camp that they're picking up on the side for extra push in the bot lane, this is where Nubarak is looking to hunt. This is where Nubarak needs the light bomb, needs to get in. They get that Li Ming under. They blow up either the Vala or the Malfurion. The Johanna and the Urel just are not able to stop the damage coming in, especially with Lunara being able to just leap into the backline. The stun already goes out onto Nematode. Malfurion goes under, but Credit Clown, he may have been a little too aggressive, didn't wait for the rest of his team, and he ends up going down there. This is a massive kill going over to SD Hong Kong, because now they know they have the 5v4. They may just elect to push, get healthy again and push past the Immortal here and try and get some kills. They do. We've already seen the Urel jump in with Johanna. The Imperius is just gone, and that's going to be another kill going over to FC Hong Kong. That pick onto the Nubarak was massive, and now they're able to just, this was a fully shielded Immortal, and he may be lucky if he gets this entire front wall. So good play by SD Hong Kong, recognizing the Anubrak dove a little too early, didn't wait for the rest of his team to show up, and they were able to get the kill onto him, and then get that push past the Immortal, get that second kill, and the Immortal got the wall. That's it.
All right, yep. So now the 20s are online. That's what they need to grab for now for FC Hong Kong. And what I think core bouncers need to do is just play around the Urel ult. It is on ult now, but every single engage post level 10 here has involved her popping that ult and being able to hammer the team away in like a 2, 3, 4-man stun to kind of disengage any follow up after that light bomb. And then the successful engages happen when Urel, when that ult is not up. She is literally the disengage tool for this team here. Now, it took a little long to get here. Core Bouncers did a great job grabbing that camp and rotating top and push that out a little bit here, but it looks like FC Hong Kong has 20 here, but not for long. Now let's set their sights here on this bottom keep.
Both teams have their level 20s available. Anubrak getting that rewind. Well, Anubrak hasn't picked his ultimate yet, but I anticipate it's going to be the rewind. There's no better skill in the game, in my mind, than rewind on Anubrak. Murden's great on too, but Anubrak, fantastic ultimate selection coming out of the Anubrak. He still is holding onto that ultimate. He's not electing to pick it yet. Maybe he's waiting to see what's going to happen, but he goes in, lands a burrow onto the Urel, lands a combo, but he ends up having to get pulled away by the Anduin, getting fairly low himself, and that's already a kill going on to the Anubrak. Still hasn't picked his level 20, and Lunara going down as well. Anubrak, I mean, I get the engage, but you got to get the rewind on there to be able to do that. I'm trying to figure out what he's waiting for outside of that, but that's going to be FC Hong Kong getting 2 kills.
And I want to see this. I mean, they got 2 dead, and I think this is a core call here.
This would be, in my mind, a core call. Like, absolutely, you've got 2 dead. One of the 2 is Lunara, the main damage dealer, coming out of the core bouncers. Tassadar can defend this, especially if he can pick the Vala, but Vala is sitting fairly low. She just has to heal from the Malfurion, but the Li Ming should be able to poke down this core. Blackstormer and the Urel and the Johanna should be able to zone everybody off. I don't see the core bouncers being able to defend this very well. Urel just trying to elect. Pierce does land the stun onto the Johanna, the Urel. The Urel does end up going down. Black Hole goes down and is able to pick up the Li Ming as well. Light Bomb goes down. Captain Garl pops it on himself, but the rest of the FC Hong Kong, they're like, we're out of here. We weren't able to finish this there, but now this is massive. The top lane is pushing for the side of the core bouncers. The Immortal phase is up, and they are down 2 players for another 50 seconds. I think if they had all just decided to focus the core instead of trying to zone everybody off, they may have been able to elect it there, as long as they stayed spread out so the Tassadar couldn't burst down any multiple targets. But now the core bouncers, they're healthy as 5, and this active FC Hong Kong, they're not getting their other 2 members up. They'll be up for a defense, but right now they're looking like they just want to try and defend as best they can. Thankfully, they have the Vala alive, so the Vala will be able to burn us. It looks like actually the Vala.
Yeah.
I think Vala just outburned. Yeah, I think Vala just outburned the entire team of the core bouncers. That's just showing the amount of race that FC Hong Kong drafted there. That's a win in my book right there. Yeah, they're not going to be able to do this on the second.
Vala has the best race in the game.
Yeah, no kidding.
See, 5v, essentially 1v5.
1v5, and she matched it. Like, it was Malfurion and Johanna helping her, neither of which is doing any damage. Vala's just like, sup. But, I mean, that's going to be a half shield immortal instead of a full shield immortal. That's massive. So this should be a pretty good defense coming over for the core bouncers. Anubrak finally did pick up that rewind, so Anubrak is going to be able to use all of his skills essentially twice except for the cocoon, which is going to be a big source of engage, because now Anubrak, if he picks that bad engage like he did the last fight, he can just get the heck out of dodge with the E again and go back to his team. Anubrak getting the light bomb already, doesn't land onto anybody. Johanna popped the unstoppable. Lunara jumping in a little bit aggressively. That cocoon already coming out. No ties out. This is a pretty good fight for the side of SC Hong Kong. They've already burnt a lot of the ultimates coming out of the core bouncers. Urel popping that absorb, able to get away, and the shield from the Immortal is pretty much already gone. They're able to burn down to about half health. They're not electing to push past the Immortal on this fight. They're electing to sit back, even though they had ultimate advantage, and they'll just defend the keep. They'll defend the core.
So that was a little, it's good. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get their full channel on that hammer to stun the Anubrak there, so they got lucky there a little bit. But like you said, they're going to be able to clear that. They're going to back out, play safe, knowing that their core is only at 39%. Shields have recharged on this. I was curious. I said, please don't invade that. It's not a smart play. They're going to opt for the top one.
Yeah.
As we see. Yep, and I expect going to clear the vision here. Take these bruisers, maybe clear bottom, grab bottom, and have some more pressure, since that is their win condition now, is in the bot lane for FC Hong Kong.
Each team has pretty much opened up their win condition, but FC Hong Kong, it's important to note, the core is only at 39%. If they get a bad fight, they could always look, and we've seen it in the replay, they do know how to backdoor. They do know how to group S5, and the core bouncers need to be aware of this. That is very, very low health core, and with the Vala and the Li Ming, they should have no problem burning through that core. So as long as it's uncontested.
Yeah, I was actually half expecting it there, was to see the backdoor while they positioned top. But the good play by core bouncers was grabbing that camp to push the lane out, so that way they did not have a wave pushing onto that core to make that a possible.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are just content waiting for this next Immortal phase and letting that be the deciding fight. But important to note, if the fight does not go inside to the favor of FC Hong Kong, if they can disengage with 4, lose 1, and while the Immortal phase is backing off, somehow sneakily go through either bot lane or top lane, and probably bot lane. Bot lane's the one they're going to want to go through. Since the keep's already down, they don't have the vision. Sneak their way around. As long as Vala and Li Ming stay alive and they only lose to Johanna Urel, the backdoor potential is always there. And they could absolutely go in and during this Immortal phase if they lose somebody in this first phase and do that backdoor. So the core bouncers have to be aware of that.
Yep, and they were being very patient there, just waiting for the Lunara vision. They weren't sure where they were at, so great job by the core bouncers there.
Captain John going in aggressively again, signs of Li Ming, sees her out, already jumping in with the ultimate. Kate getting half health onto that Li Ming, but able to heal back up to Malfurion. Light Bomb going down on the Nubrak, but only able to land on the front line. Vala putting down the Rain of Vengeance, but Tiny Notai getting fairly low on that Malfurion. Backing up, Credit Clown getting in, getting a little too far in again, not able to get himself out, and that's a kill going over to FC Hong Kong. Now they're on the hunt. Urel jumping in, Li Ming following up on the damage onto the Imperius. Imperius is just running for his life at this point, but Li Ming, she's got those low cooldowns. She's got the low cooldown on the Calamity, and she is just putting down immense amounts of damage. That's a kill. Now she's reset City. She's looking for Captain Garbo. Ends up missing the entire combo, so they're electing to just be comfortable with the push. Important top keep went down due to the siege minion because core bouncers weren't able to deal with it. That's going to be massive, and they're not looking even for the Immortal. They're just looking to end. They're like, forget the Immortal. We got a 5v3 situation. We got a 39% core. We're just going to go finish this game number 3 and send it over to game number 4.
Yeah, this was gonna say our defender is up. Just have Urel tank all of these. I was worried there that they were gonna try and take this, and leave it up. Johanna's gonna fall.
Wow, hold the phone. 2, 3, 4 kills. Nematode getting fairly low. Black Stormer getting low as well. The siege minions are loaded and they fire. Oh my gosh, that was almost an immense defense. But you saw the siege minions just coming in, take stop, and get ready to load up their shots, and were able to end the game. Thank God for Winions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Tassadar started putting on a clinic there. I mean, taking a peek at this damage, just the amount of damage that hero does come in the late game once he gets stacked off of that Q. But just getting the double kill right there at the end. But unfortunately, just both lanes just having all that pressure into them and securing, like you said, the Winions for the kill there.
Yeah, so I mean, it looked like the core bouncers had found their way back into it. The Nubrak just was a little bit too aggressive on some of these plays, get just a little too far forward. He elected to go Beetle build instead of the Hardened Carapace build. I prefer when you're going against Li Ming Hardened Carapace just because it gives you that extra spell armor and mobility to dodge a lot of these skill shots that were coming down from the side of the FC Hong Kong. But you can, I mean, the Beetle build, it's a good second backup build. It could go either way. It's just probably user preference at that point. But we can see he just time and time again got a little too far forward. And when he died, it was like re-engage because the disengage potential with the Li Ming, with the Vala, with the Malfurion dropping the ultimate, any engage that a Nubrak got, as long as it didn't die, Malfurion was able to heal him back up to full. They were able to back up, and then when they killed the Anubrak, they just re-engaged back onto them and started getting those kills, and were able to get the Li Ming the reset she needed.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, the Beetle build is, like you said, you're a tank main at heart lover Nubrak because the Beetles can be so disruptive. But the positioning here on this map, unfortunately, in those open space, not in specific lanes, makes it really hard because the Beetles just kind of go, wherever they want to. But just, Nematode showing everybody in the chat, us as the casters, just the amount of race. Like, that was the play of the game for me, whether because I think if we're talking about a full shield immortal here versus that half shield and then the defense there up in the top lane, I think we're talking a different ending to this game here. But it's just Vala banner on this map every time.
Yeah, absolutely. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break. We'll be back after the break, and we'll be ready to get this game going. It's not over yet. Interested to see what the core bounces have in store for us, so just hang tight, everyone. We'll see you on the other side.
Bye.
And root by the ball. Tassadar getting knocked all the way out of this fight. Credit Clown gets the light bomb on him, and he stuns only the Gazlo, but the Gazlo does go down. Stukov caught in the middle of that storm by the Mei, and D-Nasty is getting fairly low himself. That should be a kill onto the Stukov. Raynar getting knocked away by the Mei. Oh, and Mei coming in massive here. That is 4 kills going over for the core bouncers. That Mei, holy moly, they should be able to get at least this entire front wall and the health fountain. The tower is yet to be determined by how low the members of FF Pancakes. Gary getting fairly low. The Decker root coming out. Kael'thas getting low on Mr. G as well. And that is 2 kills going over. And that is a massive play by the sides of Crowd Control and get back into the safety of his team. Nubrak does just dive in on the entire team. Grab bomb goes down. It lands on 2 members. And D-Nasty did get caught in that as well. Urel being able to absorb, but Satan saves. It's just fairly low. Unable to pop the ultimate from Satan saves because it got interrupted. But that is 2 kills going over for the core bouncers. And now the Devils need to run. The rejects need to run really fast, but not able to, and that's 4 kills going, 2 kills, and snowball the fight. Courtney getting laid on the mountaintop. Johanna sees it and is able to get him up. This might be a pick down onto Courtney. Courtney's down to about quarter HP. The bombs do bounce, and Mr. G's getting down to about half health. Cassie is coming in as well. Stampy getting low on the Zeratul as well. That is a kill. That is a second kill, and that is 3 kills going over to FC Hong Kong. It looks like they're just trying to poke him off and back up. The core bouncers want to fight. They do land it on the Tychus again. The Tychus gets caught out, and the Tychus is, he got the Lucio pop, but is it going to be enough? The Tychus is still alive. Lucio may have just saved this game. Like they're able to siege as much. Grab bomb going down, lands onto 2 members there. Unstoppable pop. The Lucio already pops his ultimate. Lioric getting fairly low here, but everything's just a little chaotic. Diablo trying to land a stun here, and the Devil's rejects, they got to run. They are not healthy. The Mei's getting a nice little pick here going on, and the Mei, 2 kills coming over, 3 kills coming over, and the Devil's reject, or the core bouncers, they are liking this pick. This should be the Shrine coming over in the next few seconds, but it looks like FC Hong Kong, they know that the game would end if they didn't push the Punisher, so they're going to try and backdoor this and end the game here. It's getting down to about quarter HP. If sides of FM Pancakes still back fast enough, this could be the entire core. The FM Pancakes now coming in, the core is about 53% HP. It's the last hurrah. Johanna landing with 3-man Blessed Shield. Nematode, the Greymane needs to be the focus. The Greymane is not getting killed. If he puts down more damage, 11, 8, 5, 4, 3, 2%, 1%. That is it. Oh my gosh, they did it. 1%. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed the break. Here we are, Dax. I don't know what's gonna happen. Game 4.
I don't know. The ball is back in core bouncers favor. They opted for first pick again. Maybe we see the Towers of Doom here. That is the map, necessarily we were talking about earlier that you don't want to necessarily close a series on because anything can happen. Excuse me. So, start the reverse sweep right there. As we move forward, Dragonshire is still available. Now opting, you got those. Your offlane is kind of on an island there, so you do have to deal with the 4v4 team fight there. But like Towers of Doom and Dragonshire, Dahaka, kind of underpicked. I'm not sure if either one of these teams plays the Dahaka, but being able to turn a 4v4 fight into a 4v5 fight is impeccable. And when the other offlaner is off in Narnia and not being able to rotate there quickly.
I anticipate, knowing the maps that are left and knowing that the core bouncers love Alteric Pass, I anticipate that's where we're going to go. Just because I know the core bouncers do well on Alteric Pass, but I know FC Hong Kong liked that map as well. So if the core bouncers, since they have first pick or map pick, I expect them to just be like, okay, guys, we've been having first pick every game. Let's reset. Let's go to Alteric Pass. We know we can play that map. Let's win map 4, get that momentum going into game 5. Because right now it's do or die time for the core bouncers. Any strats, any secret things that they've held on to all season long, this is the time to shine. This is the time to bring it out because right now their seasons on the line. The whole season that they worked for is coming down to this game right here. So it's time to bust out all the moves.
Yeah, we're going to see the fun stuff here. This is where we can see the Abathur Illidan. We can see the Cho'Gall. We can see the Vikings comp. I'm hoping for a Vikings comp, but just like you said, some weird stuff here just to maybe throw FC Hong Kong. It's very structured. They want to ban specific things. They know what they want to pick. They're one specific direction. Right.
All right.
They know what they want to do, and they want to just do it up.
And we did get the invite, and it is Alterac Pass, but it was picked by FC Hong Kong. So FC Hong Kong electing, again, Core Bouncers wanted first pick. FC Hong Kong getting their 4th map pick in a row. All maps have been picked by FC Hong Kong thus far, and they took us to Alterac Pass. So I was right about the map, wrong about who picked it. But we are going to Alterac Pass, which means if we do get a Game 5, Dax, it's a 50-50 shot on if Towers of Doom's going to close out the series. And you've been saying all series long, don't let it end on Towers of Doom.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, FC Hong Kong is picking the dance floor for all of these dances. So far, outside of game 1, it's been working for them. But, peeking at the notes that we had, both these teams, like you said, FC Hong Kong opting to ban the Hanamura and the Volskaya, 2 maps that they love to go to. But Alterac Pass is one of those maps, like you said. But at the same time, the counterflip, Alterac Pass is one of these maps for FC Hong Kong. So this is going to be this fun stuff. Gray main, the camp clear. The camp is so important on this map. The Li Meng may get banned or first pick here by the Core Bouncers here.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what strategy. I mean, the Core Bouncers, like we said, they got to pull out all the stops. They gotta find a way to make it work. They got to find a way. It is important to note, Geo got sub backed in. So Geo is back in for this game 4. So they took out the Gazlo. Sorry, I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Black Stormer.
Black Stormer, yes.
Is now gone. Yep, so the Urel is now gone, as well as the Gazlo.
But Geo is back in.
Yeah, so Geo is back in. So I expect maybe to let Gazlo through by the Core Bouncers here this time, but maybe see the Thrall ban again.
Yeah, so no, yeah, that may just, again, throwing wrenches in the Core Bouncers plan. Maybe they're like, okay, we've got this, we got this, we got this. Oh crap, Geo's in the game now. Now we got to change our pick and ban strategy, because if Geo gets Thrall, I mean, we know Geo loves Thrall, and Geo will do nerdy things on Thrall. So we gotta prep for that. We do see Nemeto losing his Cassia. We see the Mei. I mean, since that Mei came out in game 1, Mei is never gonna see this map again, the Nexus again in this series. Yeah. I anticipate Mei is a permanent ban. She just did so many things to the FC Hong Kong in that game 1, but banning the Mei seems to have worked. Credit Clown's been on 3 different tanks since that game, and they just haven't been able to find that synergy that they're looking for.
I think they need to ban Gaslo here. I think they let Tassadar through. There it is. Great ban there from FC Hong Kong, because I expected maybe the first pick.
So will we see a Tassadar again? I mean, Nemesis has first picked him twice, and it hasn't worked. I mean, I don't think it's him that's not making it work. I think he's playing a great Tassadar. Yeah. I haven't seen anything bad about the Tassadar pick. I just don't think the rest of the team is building well around the Tassadar. They're just not playing well around the Tassadar pick. So we may see another first pick Tassadar coming out of here. I expect Nemesis. Yep. Okay. So it is first pick Tassadar again. I don't think Tassadar's been the problem. I think they just got to find a way to make the Tassadar pick successful. Maybe they go the Diablo. Maybe they go, pick some of these more AoE bursty wombo combos that Tassadar can do really well into, instead of letting FC Hong Kong get them all.
Yeah, you need the finish. So I'm not sure if anybody, you may know better than I do, if they have any finishers like a Tracer, like a Genji, a Greymane player to get in there, because he does a ton of damage. But he can, without the wall, has a hard time securing those kills.
First pick ETC. Well, I mean, first picks on their time ETC with the Tassadar already showing. That's bold. That's telling me right there they're very comfortable playing a stage dive ETC, just because it's a big map and they're showing ETC this early. So if a lot of CC gets picked up by the Core Bouncers, but we see the Nubarak again. Okay, Nubarak can interrupt ETC fairly easily with the Cocoon or the Impaling Barbs. Either one works fine. But I was like you. I was thinking Garrosh.
Yeah, I mean they love their their Lucio Garrosh combo. Garrosh is fantastic on this map. Being on the first objective, just being able to displace somebody on your side of the wall underneath your fort to secure those kills. Taking the extended throw at level 1 is just ridiculous. But the Lucio here in this team comp not getting banned this time because they had to ban the Gazlo. In these team fights because they were like really close in the last game that Lucio speed boost to maybe catch up onto a rotation for that light bomb, or just the saving grace of the Lucio ult there in some of those situations.
I with the Lucio picked up, I'm surprised they banned Lunar instead of the Sylvanas. If they don't pick Sylvanas themselves, I fully expect Captain John to pick up Sylvanas here, and that Sylvanas works very, very well into this comp with the Lucio speed boost. They're looking to hunt. With the Wailing Arrow interrupting the ETC Mosh, I expect a full engage comp coming out of the core bouncers here with the Sylvanas and Tassadar. And then I don't know what Dan's going to play in the off lane. So we'll see if the Sylvanas. I would have expected the Sylvanas ban instead of the Lunara. Lunara did do a lot of damage last game, made life hell for the Li Ming Cake. So maybe Cake was saying like, hey, I don't want to deal with Lunara again. But I almost, since core bouncers are on their back foot, Sylvanas is their #1 comfort pick out of all champions. They want Sylvanas. I fully anticipate Captain John going on at Sylvanas in this game.
I wouldn't hit it. Tassadar has great cam clear, and that's what I was thinking over here. If Nemoto did grab the Sylvanas with Li Ming, someone has to pseudo off lane, and Li Ming's wave clear is just abysmal at best, and Vala can do it, but there you go. They're taking the Urel this time. Dan Solo, I know he does play a good Urel, and then there's Captain John on the Sylvanas here. So good call by you here, and we will see Geo in the. I don't know. I mean, Malthael does trade well, but I mean, Malthael doesn't get a whole lot of value against the Nubrak because Last Rites is considered spell damage. So a lot of Nubrak's talents can save him from a Last Rites. But it's either that or a Leo, I think.
And the Leo. They decided to go with the Leo yet again. Geo showing the Leo in Game 1, coming out with it again here in Game 4. His first game back from Game 1, subbing out. I mean, looking at this, I like how the core bouncers made the adjustments. They have the interrupts they have interrupts across the board for ETC. So I anticipate this fully to be a stage dive ETC instead of a mosh pit ETC. But yeah, this is core bouncers. We got the ability to pick Sylvanas. We love picking Sylvanas. We're gonna go and grab the Sylvanas in our do or die game, and this is where it's pretty much coming down to a must-win scenario for the next 2 games for the core bouncers to ultimately hoist that trophy and claim game number 5. Well, they got to win game number 4 first to get there.
Right, absolutely.
But let's get these teams introduced. On the blue side, we've got Captain Garbo on his favorite Lucio, Captain John on his favorite Sylvanas, Credit Clown on the Anubrak, Dan Solo on Urel, and Nemesis on his favorite Tassadar.
All right, and for FC Hong Kong, looking to send us to bed early, we have Geo on Leoric, Ronin on ETC, Nematode on Vala, Cake on Li Ming, and Tiny No Tiny on Stukov. Now, I will say, I 100% I agree with you that it will be a stage dive ETC. They're running a blow up comp. The Vala, Stukov, even just minus Leoric. I mean, they want to ETC slide somebody. They want to get the silence underneath it, and they want to blow one person up. They want to remove one person from the game and take an advantage from there. Throw Leoric in the mix. You don't need the ETC there. You have the Entomb. So that's what they want to do. And let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I anticipate the way the FC Hong Kong's strategy, at least for now, is going to be ETC sits with the 4-man for the first 10 levels. Once 10 comes online, he takes the stage dive, he goes top, and Leoric comes and joins the 4-man, and they look for that pick play from Leoric. Leoric just looking to get that Entomb onto one person. Nematode and Cake just blow him up on the Vala Li Ming. That's what I'm hoping for. Again, each team has practiced this map. We know both teams play this map fairly well. Both teams love this map, so they all have their strategy set on this map. We'll see what each team selects to do. But yeah, already we see Vala going for that hot pursuit at level 1, going just for that pure single target damage is what she's ultimately going to build that into.
Yeah, and having Lucio being able to, because usually you see the 1-3-1 here, but with the Lucio, they're able to get the rotations here quickly enough that they can get the 4-man between mid and bottom. We're going to see the camp getting picked up here by both teams. Started earlier by FC Hong Kong, but the whole team, they're making a whole team affair for the core bounces here. So going to be able to cap right about the same time here. And the rotations for FC Hong Kong are extremely safe. They know the potential is going to come out here. They're, just keeping behind their walls within their limits, playing the game, not wanting to throw and go to a game 5.
Yeah, their comp really comes online at level 10. The early game, I think, favors the core balancers a little bit more, just with the damage that can come out from Sylvanas and Tassadar onto a picked target that a Nubrak could land. So the FC Hong Kong, they're electing to just play safe. We can see it with that first rotation that they did. They don't want to get picked. They want to play safe, not get caught out here, let it get to 10s, and then let their comp come online and do their thing.
But we saw game 1 when, Ronan had to be defensive in his tanking playstyle. It did not end well for FC Hong Kong. So I think they just need to let Ronan fly, maybe shot call some of these picks here, and not get pushed around here.
Yeah, it looks, I mean, we can see already, we knew the wave clear coming out was just a little bit better on the side of the core bouncers, and they're able to just rotate this bot in mid lane a lot better. Nematode maybe getting caught out here, ends up vaulting away and is able to escape, but we can see that the core bouncers there, this Anubarak is just going to path aggressively between these two lanes, cut off any sort of rotation ability from the side of FC Hong Kong, which will ultimately give the core bouncers positioning and a little bit of experience lead. But we see FC Hong Kong, they've got the timing down. They're already going up and starting their second camp, whereas the core bouncers, they're looking like they're going to want to start the first objective. They're trying to look like they're setting up for like a bush gank down around the objective, but FC Hong Kong, they're not interested in that at all. They want to get their camp, and now we see the core bouncers starting to channel up this first objective. Everybody's coming down for this fight. I didn't know if we were going to have the top laners still duking it out top lane, but Leoric's on his way down. Urel's already here. We're going to have a fiesta down here and over this first objective here in a second. But important to note, FC Hong Kong do have that mid lane pressure. So if they can stall this and get this off, they're going to have a lot of map pressure created in that mid lane that the core bouncers are going to have to respond to.
But they do have the channel, but it is going to be 3 seconds.
Nematode getting caught out on the volley, getting fairly low, and the channel does go off for the core bouncers. So uncontested first objective. Pretty much. I mean, they did try to, do a little half-hearted effort at the end, but this first objective just going straight over to the core bouncers. Didn't really have to commit anything for it. And thankfully, the first objective, it does get some siege value, but if the side, since it's so early, the side of FC Hong Kong, if they get everybody in all 3 lanes, it should just be walls. There shouldn't be any tower pressure as long as they don't get any picks. And it looks like the core bouncers are committing to the bot lane. And FC Hong Kong, they're not committing to defending this mid lane. So this mid lane might get a little more. Now Vol is rotating back, but that's putting it at 4v5. They're going to push with the Sylvanas. And remember, Sylvanas passive. She's going to shut everything off, creating a lot more siege potential in this bot lane. This first objective being picked up by the core bouncers, it's going to benefit them with the Sylvanas play that they chose. And they're just looking to siege as much as they can with it.
Yeah, just being able to step up and reposition on your enemy team, because usually you stand behind the wall for the protection. The slide going to come out from Runner to displace the minions as well as the team here. But a good chunk of this down. Half the fort is down, but I don't think they're done here.
No, I agree. They're going to back up. But that's about 3/4 of the bottom tower. They can pick with Sylvanas. They can pick that up at any time her passive's back up. She's just got to wait for her passive to come back up and be like, okay, guys, I've got to back up. I want to go bot lane. I want to get that bottom tower and just shut it off, finish it off. Plus, they've got the Anubarak with the Beetles. So they've got a lot. The core bouncers did draft a lot of tower sieging potential with the Anubarak and Sylvanas coming out, that they can just pick a lane and be like, guys, let's go focus this lane, even without the objective, even without minions. Like, you can just pick a lane, be like, they're on the other side of the map, let's go siege up this lane, and create this macro pressure that, the last 2 games, the FC Hong Kong have been able to create that macro pressure. Here we see the core bouncers. They know everybody's middle. They're just going to go down. They're going to turn off this tower, and that's going to be bottom tower going over to the core bouncers completely uncontested.
Yep, and we are neck and neck until that point there on Soak. It looks like they will start eking out some passive EXP and head on their way to level 10s first as they head to rotate onto the mid lane. Geo might find himself in a little bit of danger there, but no engage onto the Leoric there. Can just Wraith walk his way out of there.
Yeah, one thing to note, Credit Clown, he's playing a lot more passively on this Anubrak this game, at least so far in this game. He's not engaging as heavily. Geo getting very low, but Anubrak electing not to go in on that. But he's playing a lot more passively. He may have learned, being too aggressive in that last game was just too much through a couple of fights there, and so now he's wanting to just play a little more passively on the Anubrak, maybe wait for a lucky Q strike and then follow it up rather than just trying to burrow in right away. But we do see 10s online for both teams at this point, and Ultimate's pretty much as you expect coming out from the core bouncers. We haven't seen everything coming out from, it is a Mosh ETC, it is not a stage dive ETC. So now it's going to come down, I mean, the game's coming down to Ronin. Can he land those mosh pits? Because Geo's getting very low already. Geo's going to go down here. ETC's looking like he wants to find a good mosh. Credit count getting low on the Anubrak. Trying to slide off. ETC going in. Knocks everybody away. Still is holding on to the mosh, but that's going to be... Oh, he does channel the mosh. Gets nobody, but that doesn't matter. That's 3 kills going over. Li Ming is just resetting all over the board. And that is 4 kills going over to FC Hong Kong.
Yeah, and Li Ming just putting on a clinic again, just showing off that 80% win rate on that Li Ming. Just one of those heroes that, once, if you have no way, now they do have the Anubrak, so it's not going to be too hateful here. I mean, they do have a way to, get onto her, but in some of those instances where, the Chromies and the Li Mings of the world are just able to safely poke from wherever they want to be, it can be a little bit rough, but you know what? 4 kills to 1. XP Soak, they are doing a fantastic job rotating around the map with this Lucio here. Half the channel objective is going to get canceled there.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, what that fight, it looked pretty dire. 4 kills going to 1, but that only pretty much just evened up the experience. It didn't get the FC Hong Kong that much of an experience lead. Dan Solo trying to get a catch with Captain Garbo onto the to the Geo, but Geo landing a nice entomb onto the 2 members, and that's going to be a kill onto Lucio, and another kill going over for FC Hong Kong. Valo was rotating bottom because they needed to manage the bot minion wave, but they did pick up their siege camp. So core bouncers, they're trying to force a couple of these fights that just aren't working out for them, and they're ended up getting caught. So, they played the first half of the game very passive, very calm, collected, and they were doing well. And then now, since 10s have come online, they're just trying to pick fights that aren't working out well for them. And this is starting to snowball a little bit in favor of FC Hong Kong.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, sorry, Tassadar does land a black hole out, but Credit Clown does burrow himself away. Dan Solo fairly low on that URL, trying to get healed up by the Lucio. Important to note, when Lucio does hit 16, with how aggressive this URL and Anubrak are playing, Lucio will be able to heal them up. So if they can get to 16, Lucio's going to come online, be able to... Li Ming getting caught out fairly in the front line. Burrow does miss onto Li Ming, but she's not able to get back up. She goes in to try to follow up with ETC Mosh, but interrupted, and that is Li Ming going down. The Credit Clown does go down, trades his life for the Lurk, but he got a burrowed ETC in the back line. Nematode has basically no health. No tie on the Stukov is getting bullied out by this URL, and this could be the fight the core bouncers wanted to get back into this fight. Or back into this game. They now have control over the map. They still have bot lane creating a massive amount of pressure with those siege minions since they got that early tower. And that's pretty much the story of this game right now, is the amount of pressure that they're creating bot lane. They're able to pick some of these fights because the side of SC, they're kind of backing to go deal with it and then coming back halfway through the fight.
Yeah, and you know what, I think, especially on a map like this where, it's structures, right? They are, FC Hong Kong is ahead on levels, is ahead on kills, but you need at least minimally 1 to 2 of those keeps down to end on this game, because the core does so much damage, has so much shielding, and regens health, that I think we're going to be talking about this early for here later in the game.
Yeah, I mean, my thought is the key to success is Credit Clown, he needs to get that Li Ming in a burrow. Ooh, he doesn't interrupt, doesn't time it just well enough, and the Stukov does get the channel up. That's probably going to be the objective going in. They're looking for a fight. They land it onto the Stukov. Stukov getting fairly low, but Credit Clown chaining his life. He does get the cocoon onto the Li Ming. That's pretty huge. If they don't get the Li Ming out, they could turn this fight around. Notai getting fairly low on that Stukov. Urel getting in, but misses the jump. Still gets the kill. Cake is fairly low on that Li Ming. ETC also fairly low. Everybody's just chasing everybody right now. It's all over the place. Dan Solo's fairly low on the Urel, ends up jumping out, but trades his life away. And now they need to run because Li Ming is in reset city mode. And that was 2 kills going in favor of the core bouncers. They did get the stop. I didn't see that they got the stop, but this is eventually going to go over. I mean, that fight could have gone either way. Both teams were just oh, it was so chaotic. I was hoping one team would eventually pull through, and it looked like that was FC Hong Kong. They do get the objective, and now they get to put all 3 objectives in the lanes.
Yeah, and that kind of chaos fight is kind of where Stukov shines, right? If in the tiny little fight where if he does able to get that healing pustule out onto people, they can kind of be where they want the same effect as like the mouthfeel and pop trait and get kind of that burst heal. But unfortunately, he was down there, and it was a little divided on everywhere. That fight kind of broke out all over the map.
Yeah, we're seeing a 4-man commitment here from FC Hong Kong and the core bouncers trying to defend this mid lane. This mid lane is being focused. Core bouncers don't have to defend bot as well because bot lane is pushed out significantly due to the map pressure they created, and they're going to be able to defend this very well. It looks like they're probably going to rotate bot, but that means Urel's going to get some, Leoric's going to get some siege onto the Urel, but the minion probably won't be able to get very much. And so the core bouncers, they're probably going to actually have a very good defense about this, still maintain their map pressure. I think going forward, what they need to do is Credit Clown has to get that Li Ming under. Absolutely, the only way you're going to win any of these fights is getting Li Ming, because Cake is just doing too many things on that Li Ming to the side of the core bouncers.
Yep, and not a fantastic trade. I mean, they got to the top of the half fort, so not a 1-for-1 trade there. Comparing, so the structure-wise, still ahead of the game for core bouncers. But we're gonna see the camp, a lot of camps.
Ooh, Gio getting caught out. He's getting fairly low. Tassadar ends up finishing him off. That's a big kill. That's a 40-second death timer. He will be able to get up a little faster, but that's 40 seconds. This could open up a boss play potential. They could put that boss in the bot lane and start allowing some siege pressure, even more so in that bot lane. It looks like they're electing to just go get their own siege camp and clear out the mid wave. But, I mean, with those 40 seconds, maybe boss was too aggressive with the Leoric. I don't know. In my mind, I would have been like, we got the pick, let's go with Sylvanas and Tassadar damage that they got. But they're electing to play the safer play, go for their minion wave, and start clearing out some of these, start creating some of this pressure mid. Meanwhile, top lane, Urel getting caught out. She will pop the ultimate here. Will she be able to get away? Vala being able to stun. Dan Solo leaps ahead, but gets cut off. Captain Garbo is here to save the day. Lucio popping the ultimate, and now the side of the FC Hong Kong, they got to run. Nematode already used his vault, so he's got to just run on Vala, and it looks like he will be able to get away. That won't be any kills going over, but it looked pretty dire for the URL, and then suddenly it looked dire for the whole entirety of FC Hong Kong. But they're setting up, core bouncers are setting up the siege top. Meanwhile, mid lane, these minions are pushing. If these minions don't get dealt with, that's probably going to be half of the tower going down, but Ronan's looking like he wants to try and find a mosh.
Yeah, absolutely there. And unfortunately, just the timing on the Vala ult just not timing up to lock the URL down to be able to cast our defender there and heal herself up through all of that damage.
Yeah, it's right now the core bouncers, maybe they've just had a bad experience. Credit Ground getting chunked down. Look at the damage coming out of the Li Ming. Again, that Beetle build coming out, but he doesn't have the spell armor on that level 1. He elected to go for Beetles over the spell armor, and so he will not be able to be as tanky to that Li Ming as he wants, losing about half of his health to a Li Ming combo as opposed to about a quarter of his health. So yeah, I mean, we do see the core bouncers, they're coming over, they're setting up over this third objective here in the bot lane. This is pretty much reminiscent of the first one where they get the objective, FC Hong Kong gets their siege, the core bouncers get their objective, but now it's a lot longer timer. The core bouncers have to defend for a lot longer, and FC Hong Kong's minions get to push for a lot longer. So we'll see if this fight ends up breaking out. I anticipate the core bouncers will just back off here, go clear out that mid wave, maybe pick up their own siege camp, and then use that to create the pressure. They've already gotten 20 seconds off. They look like they're rotating to pick up their own camp. FC Hong Kong, they're going in. They're looking like they want to pick up the objective and start channeling that thing. But, I mean, if I was them, I would be pretty suspicious that Black Hole just got thrown out by the Tassadar. I didn't even notice that he chucked that out.
Looking for an entomb.
Yeah, now is the time.
Yeah.
Tassadar doesn't have that disengage potential, so if you're looking to engage, this is where you want to do it. But the core bouncers, they want to engage. Urel jumping into the back line, trying to just get Nematode off of his back foot. TTC lands a mosh, but it's already immediately interrupted. Lucio pops the sound barrier, and that's 2 picks going off. Tassadar walling off the Ronin and the Leoric. This is massive pressure being created by the core bouncers. We'll see if the Stukov is able to heal all of this pressure up. Geo getting fairly low, caught in the middle. He doesn't have Wraithwalk. He ends up going down. Li Ming goes down as well. This is what the core bouncers need. They need to keep pushing, getting as much damage as they can. They didn't get the wall onto Nematode. Had they gotten the wall, that would have been massive, but still, 2 kills going over for the side of the core bouncers, and they are going to finish up this objective. Right now, I would have 1 defense, head 4 for this bot boss, and see how much of this boss you can pick up. They're electing to defend as 5. Again, they're playing safe. They know their season's on the line here, so they're not doing the more aggressive call. I think if they defend with 1 and they go with a bot boss as 4, they would have definitely gotten bot keep, bare minimum. Now, you know, Sylvanas already used her passive on the mid lane. It looks like she's going to get the mid lane as a reward. Nubrak is rotating up, but he doesn't have the damage there to necessarily follow up. So, again, the passive play, it's the safer play. It's not necessarily a bad play. It's just not going to snowball the game.
No, and they're going to opt to all rotate here. They're just a thick wave up here top. They're going to save their own fort here and push this wave as well, just opening up another boss wave. Mid will trade out here a little bit, but, you know, FC Hong Kong going down to the bot lane, you know, that's where their exposed keep is currently. So they're going to chase down this objective here, and top fort is down as they set their eyes onto the keep wall up here in the top lane.
Yeah, Sylvanas has about 24 seconds back until her passive is all the way up. So we're waiting to see. I think they're going to be able to siege this out. They won't be able to turn the keep off, but if they can get this keep down to about half health, the minions should be able. They're just backing out. They're like, nope, forget it. We're out of here. We did what we wanted. We got all 3 towers. We're going to have siege minion pressure in all 3 lanes. The opposing team will not. They want level 20s, and that's where they're going to look to pick their next fight.
Yeah, it's strange to see, you know, what goes on, these thoughts in these teams' heads, like, because that would have been my thought process as well on this objective, is just leave Yrel on the point and go burn, you know, with a Sylvanas and a Tassadar, you can burn boss pretty well, and then just have, you know, Yrel has, you know, the pseudo cleanse at 4.
Both teams looking at this top boss. Like, both are sniffing this out.
Yeah, and this is where FC Hong Kong needs to fight. This is a 320 fight. This is opted for them, but all of
Nubrak getting caught out, and then Nubrak is going to go down. That's massive for FC Hong Kong. Core bouncers, you got to go. They should have waited until they were level 20 to start sniffing this out, but they got it at level 19. Yrel pops the absorb. She will be healed up by the Lucio. Lucio is level 16 now. He will be able to heal up his tanks very, very well. Oh, the Entomb barely missing on the Tassadar, but that's a 37-second death timer still on the Anubrak. This is going to be top boss going over for the side of FC Hong Kong. Pretty much uncontested, and they will now be on even level 20 talent tiers. Core bouncers do have it, but they don't have a Nubrak, and a Nubrak's the one they really want. They still look like they want to contest this fight. I don't know if they're going to be able to do this. Boss has already been picked up. Yrel going in, getting fairly low, but he knows he doesn't have the Mosh. Tassadar going in, ETC landing a 2-man Mosh. It doesn't get interrupted, and that's huge for FC Hong Kong. Oh my goodness.
Yep,
that's a boss, and those are 60-second death timers, and the objective's coming up. This is a massive play by FC Hong Kong. If they can get this keep, which they should be able to get this keep with 5 members alive against 3, they get this keep. I mean, keeps bare minimum. If they get a couple picks here, they could end. But they're looking like right now they just want to go, you know, keep is the safe play. Leoric is bot lane, so it doesn't look like they're going to look for a pick unless they get something handed to them.
Oh man, and Credit Clown getting caught in the silence in the root from, unfortunately Ronan wasn't able to slide in on that.
Credit Clown looking like he wants to pick a fight. I don't know why he burrowed in there. He's going to get blown up. I mean, ETC can survive that. Thankfully, Yrel didn't lose her life as well, but again, this is what we talked about in the pregame. The core bouncers, they're staggering. They don't want to stagger here. This boss still should not be able to end game with Lucio and Tassadar both coming back up, but it's going to, you know, this is top keep. This is top keep, and this map just flipped on its head. And now the FC Hong Kong, they're in the driver's seat. And Nubrak's not up for another 35 seconds, so this, you know, this channel, depending on when they started, I thought they would have started, but they just started. So Nubrak will have 20 seconds to get from his base to interrupt, you know, this potential objective play and get his team back in. It's not necessarily critical that they take this objective fight because they have their towers still very healthy in all the other 2 lanes. So at minimum, they just lose both towers, so it's not necessarily game ending. But what they cannot do here is stagger another death. They have to wait for Nubrak, and Nemesis is just trying to do some damage to that ETC. If that ETC lands any power slide Mosh, Mosh is now up. If the ETC sees anything, the Nubrak is not here. It's bells for the core bouncers here.
Wailing Arrow is down.
ETC is up here now. I don't think they're going to get the interrupt here. ETC lands the teleport. He's looking for the Mosh. He lands it onto Justin Nubrak. Black Shield goes off. ETC is going to just get bursted down here, but the damage goes out to Nemesis. Huge sound barrier coming out of the Lucio there. Geo landing the Atomb onto the Tassadar. Tassadar will get killed here, but his life will be traded. Geo dying as well, and the rest of the core bouncers, they are pushing. They are looking for more blood in the water. Li Ming does end up going down. Vala, there's no way you're getting out of here. That's 4 kills going over to the core bouncers. They are looking like they may want to go mid. I think they could end it here. They do have both of their or they have one of their damage. They don't have Tassadar. But if they don't end it here, this is devastating. I think they can end it here. We'll see what happens. They do have a lot of damage and tank potential, and it's only Stukov up. So this could be game 4 going over to the core bouncers. We will wait and see how well Stukov can last man hurrah. Leoric will be up in 13 seconds. They are backing out. All right. So they are not going to commit to the game-ending push. But they should have no problem clearing out bot lane. They should have no problem clearing out top lane. They do need to send one back because this objective is going to do some damage, especially since it's got a siege minion with it. Nubrak's already back though. They should clean this all up.
Yeah, that does have 2 keeps. I wouldn't worry about that one. I'm surprised they didn't go for at least one of the 2, at least bottom keep there. So next team fight, if they did win, they could end. It's, 2 keeps can kind of secure a win for your team, but fortunate that they did back off.
Everybody's up. I was curious if they were trying to go get that so that they could get the boss play up earlier. That was the only reasoning I could find the Nubrak going up there outside of the play, but they're not looking like they're sniffing out boss. FC Hong Kong, they look like they're the ones sniffing out boss. But yeah, with both of these towers, or both of these keeps being at half health for the core bouncers, if they win the next objective fight, it's game over. Like, they will be able to siege down both keeps, and then the boss will just be a squishy Li Ming. But what we've seen is they haven't been able, outside of that last team fight, they haven't been able to pick the fight. They are full strength 5 here. That seems to be when they do well. They just don't want to stagger, and Tassadar does not want to be the one in front here because Leoric will just entomb. Leoric misses the entomb. Core bouncers are ready and waiting. They need this fight. Black Arrow goes off onto 3 members. ETC sitting in the bush. He's got a 3-man mosh. Tassadar does not have the black hole to interrupt it, but the Credit Clown is doing massive zoning potential, and ETC isn't able to have any follow-up going on. Huge play by Credit Clown, zoning off the entire damage of the FC Hong Kong, and now they are down their ETC. This is what they're looking for. They land the 2-man knock-up onto the Stukov and the Vala. Tassadar, or Nubrak trades his life, but that's the end of the world. They just can't give up another kill and let Li Ming reset city. Li Ming bounces forward. Oh, there wasn't any turnaround potential onto Li Ming, but again, that's 3 kills to 2, or 2 kills to 1, sorry, apologies. And we've got mid lane pressure going for the core bouncers, top lane pressure going for FC Hong Kong. It's chaos. I don't know what's going on, but I think right now core bouncers, they need to go start channeling this objective. They only need 1 to go deal with the minions, and they're sending the whole team back.
Yeah, the FC Hong Kong needs to win this objective. Like you said, if it does go over on the side of core bouncers, I think we are heading to a game 5 here. Nima to go ahead and start that camp. Leoric is trying to get vision for the team. He needs to be careful not to get caught out here. He is about 3/4 of the way through his health bar there. And both bosses are up, so let's see if we get a position here for another one of those fights, or we just see maybe the last team fight over this objective.
Yeah, Li Ming's got that Tal Rashara Elements ultimate level 20. She's going to pump out serious damage, so if they can't kill Li Ming, there's always the potential for a counter-engage blow up from the Li Ming. They got to be aware of that if they're on the side of the core bouncers. They cannot give up a kill, and this is where a Nubrak not having that extra spell damage may end up hurting him with the dives. He did a fantastic job zoning them out last time off the ETC, so we'll see if he can do it again, but you know, this Vala is really far forward. I'm shocked they did not jump onto that Vala there. Vala was like within finger reach of the Nubrak, and he elected not to go for that engage. They're gonna. Wow.
Yeah, I like to see Ronan rip a couple more, at least post 13, a couple more mosh pits. Even their solo mosh pits, he gets that reset on that cooldown from Encore. Looks like he's trying to get the Hail Mary, trying to get as many interrupts as possible into one of those mosh pits.
I mean, this objective fight is it. Whoever wins this objective fight is probably ending the game. So each team is very aware of that and just playing super passively. Credit Clown is just sitting in that bush trying to create the pressure, but both teams don't want to go aggressive on the other team. They're both, Captain Garbo getting a little far forward. Ronan electing not to slide onto Captain Garbo there. And yeah, both teams are just, they're stuck. Looks like FC Hong Kong, they are electing to start being a little bit of the aggressors here. The mid lane is pushing, but it won't be able to end. The boss should have no problem clearing out the mid lane pressure. Both bosses should have no problem clearing out either lane's pressure right now, since it's only one lane. But yeah, it's a stalemate right now.
Yeah, that panic. Once you hear like that, the core mechanic kick in, that your core's under attack, the panic sets in.
Credit Clown getting caught into that Leorca tube. That Anubrak is silenced. He is stunned. The disengaged black hole comes out from Tacit. Our Dan Solo does jump in there. It's pretty much the Credit Clown is getting very little. He gets the ball under, but he goes down. Geo ends up trading his life for that kill. Li Ming got one reset. Mosh Pit going down onto 2 members, but Ronan will not survive. That is going to be a death, and he did not go Death Mosh because he went to the teleport. And so that is 2 kills going over for the sides of core bouncers, and they're smart. They don't try and chase that Li Ming down, because if that Li Ming got any kill, that she would turn that entire fight around and potentially, reverse sweep this. So they're electing to, they got the kills. They got what they needed. They know they can full channel this. They know a full channel objective will potentially end the game. They're just waiting for Anubrak to get back up here, and they're looking to end the game with this next objective push.
Yeah, they need to push out mid a little bit further to try and buy themselves some time on these top and bottoms. I think they're done for regardless, but I think that's the play there to make, to kind of maybe extend this game a little bit further. We're already 27 minutes
with Geo coming up. This is like the last hurrah. Like they've got to push him off, and it looks like the core bouncers, they're gonna give it up.
Ooh.
They let Leoric get the full channel off. Tassadar didn't put the poke out, and so they're wanting to try and reset, but I don't know if they can. ETC is going to be up. He doesn't have stage dive. Leoric does miss the entomb again. Now, that damage coming out of Li. That's the damage Li Ming can put out. That's why anytime that they don't kill Li Ming, they have to be careful with they get below half health, because if anybody's below half health, they're dead. They're just dead.
Yep, and both of these teams being just fantastically patient, but they're going to rotate for the camp here, but so they're going to be able to finish this channel here. I don't know if
I don't know why FC Hong Kong went for their objective. They know that this could potentially end the game, and they're giving it up.
They maybe thought they were trading. I think it was maybe gonna just a trade on the camp there.
Yeah,
and
mind games by the core bouncers there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And they ended up finishing up that channel. That's huge. That could be, these objectives this late in the game with 2 keeps at half health. This is massive for the core bouncers. Sylvanas is in that top lane, so it looks like top lane is where they're going to want to end. At least try to create that push. They're going to clear out this mid wave, then rotate as 5 top. That mid minion is going to start pushing. So, the FC Hong Kong, they're doing the smart thing. They're stopping the bottom one, at least saving 1 keep right away. They know top keep's going to go down. They know the middle siege minion is going to start doing some boss damage, but hopefully the middle siege minion will die before the top keep dies, and that'll still be double armor. We'll see. Right now, the FC Hong Kong, they're rotating in. They're looking to clear out this middle minion, but the core bouncers, they're already here. They can keep this top siege minion at full health if they shut off this tower, but they elect not to. They're just going to go and see what they can find. As long as Li Ming gets put under by Nubrak, I anticipate that they just will be able to overwhelm the side of FC Hong Kong and ultimately win this fight. It's going to be a slow fight. They need to make it slow, but they need to get Li Ming underneath. The boss is already dead though. Like I was waiting for something to happen, like some sort of defense, and it just kind of every team just sat back and boss goes bye-bye.
Yeah, that was a quick one. Like I said, we're just trying to keep an eye on everything else, all the fun stuff that's going to happen, waiting for that last team fight, and just kind of Winions as the story of game 3 there. So Winions taking the day in the last 2 games. I
was all prepped to be like, wait for this massive fight to break out. Let's go. And then all of a sudden I'm looking at the bosses like 5K, 4K, FC Hong Kong's like, nope, we're good. We'll go to game 5. And so that was it. Game 5, guys. I mean, this is what we expected for this series. We expected this to go all the way, potentially to go all the way to game 5. Here we are, 2-2 split both teams. I mean, let's talk about that game before we start hyping up game 5. But I mean, the core bouncers, they responded. And they responded with a team comp that we know they can execute. Outside, the Anubrak is usually not in that comp. It's usually like a Garrosh or the Mei. But that's a core bouncer core comp right there. That's what they run. That's what they practice. And yeah.
I think it could be the thing where like a new Brack is seen as a Li Ming counter, and to maybe save themselves, banning the Li Ming and taking it for themselves to maybe just do the new Brack. Seeing how Mei has been, like you said, Mei has been banned. Not sure why the Garrosh, especially on this map. I mean, it worked out for them. They got the win here. Garrosh is good on this map, but yeah. Well, I mean, we're hyped to a game 5, and let's see what back on Team FC Hong Kong here and what they want to bring to game 5. The ball's in their court.
I mean, looking at the stats. Look at the Sylvanas play: 7 kills, 8 assists, 0 deaths. Led the board in pretty much all categories of experience. That is why the core bouncers love Sylvanas and the map pressure. Turning off the towers, getting that early bottom tower was huge. I mean, it allowed them to make a few mistakes, which they did. They staggered for a little while in that mid game. It looked like FC Hong Kong was about to pull away with it and end the series, but they regrouped as 5. They found a way back into it, and Anubrak made some small mistakes here and there, but ultimately he got the picks that he was looking for, and they found a way to snowball this game into a game 5. So
yeah, I mean, Sylvanas, like I said, like every objective essentially wants to push, right? Outside of Cursed Hollow. So I mean, Sylvanas is good on almost any single map, but like she secretly does a ton of damage. Wailing Arrow gets so much value. It's a contested pick. I mean, between both of these teams, we see a lot of heroes trading sides. Starting off with the Gazlo, not seeing it this time because it was banned because Blackstormer wasn't in this game. Do we see him come in for a game 5 to hopefully be the closer, seal the deal again?
Yeah.
Or does Gio get to hang out and hopefully help captain / co-captain carry the team to victory? Here's
the 2 questions we have to answer, and both teams are taking their time. Calming down because ultimately it's a best of 1 now. Dragonshire or Towers of Doom? Dax, are we going to get a Towers of Doom series finale? I mean, you were talking about it since game 1. Like, I hope we don't end on Towers of Doom. And here we are, game 5, and it's a 50% chance we're getting Towers of Doom.
So, I don't know. So, if the ball is in FC Hong Kong court, I think they're going to. Here's my play. I think they're going to sub in Blackstormer back in again for the 1v1 on Dragonshire. I think that's. I think.
Does he play Rexar?
I don't know if he plays Rexar, but he does play the Urel. Urel can be a bully on that point. But again, these maps aren't really played by both of these teams, so maybe there is a hidden Rexar gem somewhere in the midst here.
If FC Hong Kong have done their homework, the core bouncers, the last time they went to Towers of Doom was the quarterfinals, and they did well pre-10. And then they got into their stagger mode, which just happened in this last game on All Track. They fixed it on All Track, but they didn't fix it on Towers of Doom, and it flipped on its head really fast. So, that was their semifinal series, not the quarterfinal series. So, Towers of Doom, if FC Hong Kong, they might be comfortable being like, hey, we saw them play Towers of Doom before, we might be able to beat them there. On the flip side, if they do have a very good 1v1 with the Urel, I could see the Dragonshire being picked up as well, since there is that 1v1 potential top lane that Blackstormer, if he gets subbed back in, could just create hell for Dan Solo in the off lane. But I know the core bouncers do like to play Dragonshire as well. So it's not their favorite map by any means, but they do play it. And I've seen them play it before, and they know how to play it. So it's going to come down to that. And then, I mean, the second question that I have that you've already answered, and we hope to see here in a few minutes, is Blackstormer coming back? Is he going to come back? They played 2 games with Blackstormer, to play 2 games with Geo. It's not necessarily, I don't think it's Geo's fault at all that they're losing those 2 games that Geo's in. There's other mistakes being made. I think Li Ming got a little too aggressive on some of her calamities in some of those fights. He just got caught out in front.
Yeah, she was a little bit forward trying to kind of get those resets, right? You kind of, if you don't get the reset, you're kind of caught.
And the ETC, he did land a couple of great moshes. He did find some good moshes, especially towards the end, kind of brought the team back into that fight. But ultimately, I didn't see as much value out of the ETC that I would expect from an ETC play. But again, I was thinking they were going to that game with this mentality for the stage dive, and they ended up going with the mosh pit. But I mean, Li Ming on Towers of Doom, fantastic pick, Towers of Doom. So if they do go Towers of Doom, Li Ming ban. I mean, it's you've seen Cake play Li Ming twice now, and he has just decimated your team.
So yeah, even with Towers of Doom though, like so he is playing the Li Ming, but the issue is it is another Gazlo map. So if they do bring in Blackstormer, but it's also another Sylvanas map, which Nematode does play that as well. And you would have to go dagger on if running the Li Ming, you have to go dagger on Sylvanas for any sort of wave clear. I mean, the name of the game on Towers of Doom is that bot lane clearing out that wave, and with a Sylvanas and a Li Ming, potential to just annihilate a building is 100%. I don't know. I think both those maps play to the strengths of both of these teams, but you can get a late level Dragon Knight and win the game versus having to take a core down with a channeled objective.
Well, you're gonna be happy. We're going to Dragon Shower. We're not ending on Towers of Doom.
Okay.
So It's gone, ladies and gentlemen. There is no Towers of Doom hype. But interesting to note, at least so far in the lobby, Blackstormer is in, but so is Geo.
Okay.
So they subbed out. Who did they sub out? Yeah, they subbed out Nematode. They subbed out Nematode.
So my guess would be, looking at this, it would be a double bruiser, a 1-1-3 comp.
Oh nope, Geo just left. Okay. Nematode's coming in. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I was like, wow, this is like next level strats. Like, what's going on here? But no, Geo does end up leaving. He just got invited the rest of his team, ended up leaving. Nematode got subbed in. Nematode is here after all. So it is a substitution yet again for the side of the FC Hong Kong. They're bringing Blackstormer back in, and I agree. This is a fantastic Gazlo map. So automatically, if anything, that's drawing a Gazlo ban, and if they get the Gazlo ban, then he's got the Urel. So and Urel does amazing things on this map too. So already Blackstormer value going way up. Leoric is fairly good on this map, so Geo could have done well on the Leoric, and he would have drawn the Thrall ban. So already we're seeing the offlaners are going to automatically draw one ban. It's going to be interesting to see where that second ban decides to go, and I expect it to go to Li Ming, but then that would leave Cassie open for Nematode. So, I mean, the only other thing is the core bouncers have first pick. Maybe they ban the Cassia, and then Nemesis picks Li Ming first pick, because he does play a mean Li Ming. He's just been playing Tassadar all series long.
Yeah, I mean, just the damage from both of those. You don't get the resets, which I think is what makes Li Ming so good, is if you can get those resets. You get the push. That's the problem with mages, right? So if you don't secure a kill on a mage, all of your buttons are usually pressed, and you just kind of stand there looking silly while your sustained damage is trying in tanks, and everybody else is trying to finish up everything. So, Li Ming gets those things, but if she doesn't get the resets, then But on this particular map, I think you need the wave clear. Middle lane. 9 times out of 10, it's usually kind of in the lower leagues, kind of ignored. I don't want to say that it's completely ignored, but with Lucio, and as we saw on Alterac Pass, the core bouncers were able to, even on a larger map, kind of rotate 4-man mid and bot.
All righty. Game 5. Let's see the hype trains in chat. We have made it all the way here. Like we said at the beginning, this isn't a sprint, this is a marathon, and we've gone 26.1 miles. We've got 0.1 to go. Game 5 is in the books. Core bouncers getting first pick. There's no better way for us grand finals to end than a Game 5 series. I mean,
no, we got people sleeping in the chat. I'm a little disappointed. It's
I'd be hyped.
Yeah,
I'd be like, let's go.
Yeah, like I want to see who you want to win. Who wins Game 5 here, chat? Spam it in there.
I mean, we've been going for 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes, and I mean, I'm ready. Let's go, Game 5. I'm just disappointed we're not going to Game 7. We're not seeing Towers of Doom, but that's me. That's fine. It's whatever. But already, seems. I mean, this has been the ban strategy since Game 1 ended. Cassia May, Gazlo. They draw the Gazlo ban because of Blackstormer's just massively awesome Gazlo game in Game 2. Like, that was fantastic. And, if we stick with the old strategy here, do we see the Sylvanas or Lunara or something Captain John related ban coming in here?
I think it's the Lucio ban.
You think it's a Lucio? You think the Lucio was too? Yeah, it is the Lucio ban. So they let Captain Garble have it once, and they said never again.
So I think we do see the Sylvanas.
Is it a Sylvanas first pick, or do we see the Li Ming? Because if they don't go the Li Ming, they know they're giving up the Li Ming to Cake yet again, and Cake almost definitely carried game 3, almost carried game 4. And once again, it's 4 games in a row. First pick Tassadar for Nemesis. That means Li Ming is going over to Cake. What do they pick with it? Did they grab the URL? Yep. Sorry. I spoiled it, guys. It's going to be URL Li Ming, I'm guessing. First picks. Boom. There it is. I'm a psychic. No, I'm not. I've just been watching this series all night long.
Yeah, let's see if you guys have been paying attention. Yeah, we could have saw this. I mean, we could have AFK'd, got drinks, gone to the bathroom, and it would look like 3 of the other games we saw tonight.
All right, so now we see probably, what do we see here coming out? I'm guessing the Sylvanas, because if they're going to go the Sylvanas, they pick it here. And, I mean, core bouncers, they love Sylvanas. Right wing. Wow.
Okay.
And she just got nerfed. But it wasn't as massive as the nerf as what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, what is it, 3%?
2%. 10 to 8%. So
okay,
the level 1, level 1 talent on Brightwing was a 10% heal. Now it's 8%. But I just Brightwing on this map. I mean, it's gonna be. I'm guessing a blink heal Brightwing. I know. I should preface this with I know Captain Garbo Brightwing's a comfort pick for him since he didn't have the Lucio, and I guess he just didn't want to go with the Anduin into the Li Ming because the Li Ming could just get away from the light bomb. So maybe he elected to go for the Brightwing, seeing the Urel, just polymorph the Urel when she comes in instead.
So Malf is left open, so I'm going to assume Tiny's going to grab Malf here.
Malf is big pick.
I like Brightwing into the Li Ming. Going to be able to Z up top and help out. I'm going to maybe guess Dan Solo goes the Imperius again, unless if he does have that back pocket Rexar here as well. Diablo's still on the board. Johanna, as I say, Ronan was playing very well on the Johanna.
Here we go. Blow up comp again. It worked for them in game 3, I believe it was. Game 3 BOE, yeah. No, Infernal Shrines, game 2 with the Gazlo. They did this with the Gazlo.
2 and 3,
yeah. So Greymane was banned out game 3. So yeah, the Greymane, Li Ming, it's a massive blow up comp here. So Malfurion would be a fine pick, getting the root out, and that's a target that's going to die. Now they know the blow up comp's coming. This is where you pick Peel. This is where you pick a beefy front line. Garrosh is absolutely what I would have. One of the things I would have thought. Arthas is another one, but I know Arthas isn't picked up. But you got the Rexar. I didn't think Dan Solo played Rexar, but he does.
Okay, so we're going to opt for the Malfurion. I was hoping for the Decker because Brightwing did get nerfed there, or at least an Ana. But Ana Grenade and the Emerald from Deckard can completely negate a Brightwing Z.
Yeah,
it just doesn't happen. She comes in, but does not get the heal off.
But to an extent, Brightwing Z is going to go top. More than likely going to go top lane to help out and assist that top lane with the Urel and able to easily interrupt the Urel and all that. So maybe they elected not to go with that, just because they know that Brightwing. It'll help with team fights for sure. But well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Game 5 coming down to the wire. We've got core bouncers, FC Hong Kong going the distance. I'm super stoked for this game. I love a Dragonshire map. I love that Brightwing's going to be able to help out in that top lane. So, yeah, we'll see what's going on in this game 5. Let's get these teams introduced. On the side of the core bouncers, we have Captain Garbo on the Brightwing, Captain John on the Sylvanas, Dan Solo on the Rexar, Credit Clown is sitting on that Garrosh, Nemesis on that Tassadar.
All right, and for FC Hong Kong, we have Ronan on the Johanna, Blackstormer on the Urel, Kate picking up a Li Ming again, Tiny Notai on that famous Malfurion, and Nematode on Greymane.
We got the Riders of Rohan on FC Hong Kong over there.
We do. I kind of combined Ronan and Johanna at the same time.
So interesting to note, I've watched Credit Clown, Garrosh. He doesn't go for the taunt. He always goes for Decimate. Instead of the taunt on Garrosh. So I'll be curious to see if this is the one game I see him go taunt, but already he lands the knockup and the throw onto Greymane. Greymane's not living through that. With the Tassadar wall, that is a pick immediately off the bat going over to the core bouncers. Great first kill, experience already in their favor, and the core bouncers getting first blood.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's just not a lot of burst healing coming out from that Malfurion there. So yeah, we've now seen what the core bouncers want to do, and now it's up to Johanna. Great counter to Garrosh, but Ronan needs to be up there to eat all of those throws and hold the trait for the throw, so she can just trait and walk away.
I mean, it's pretty much coming down to who gets the fight they want. Credit Crown's looking to grab a pick and throw it back. The FC Hong Kong are looking to root a target and blow it up. So it's going to come down. It's pretty much. I think it's going to come down to that Johanna Garrosh. Front line, who outplays who. Is Johanna able to keep Garrosh away and get the pick onto the backliner, or is Garrosh able to find that target and throw it back to his team and have his team blow it up? I would say the fun's going to be in the top lane, but right now you've got Rexar sitting at no mana, and your Rel sitting about half. So that's going to be pretty boring until Brightwing decides to head on up there.
So, yep, she's actually going to walk Misha on the point. Blackstorm's going to jump over the wall to try and leap over Misha to avoid some of that
Ooh, Nematode getting thrown in bot lane yet again, and that's going to be another kill going over for the core bouncers. Greymane getting caught just a little far forward. Sorry, it's Nematode, not Nematode. I got corrected last time because I kept calling him Nematode. He's like, it's Nematode. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
I may completely wrong. I have no idea. I'm just reading.
Yeah, I always used to call it Nematode, and then I got him for an interview, and he's like, it's Nematode. I was like, oh, okay.
My bad, friend. I don't mean to mispronounce any names.
No, I mean, yeah. So, I learned something. And so anytime I mistake it. But already both objectives going over. Sylvanas already channeling it up, and that is going to be Dragon going over the core bouncers. Core bouncers coming out with aggressive and great start to this game 5.
Yep, going to start clearing that wave here mid a little bit. Just heading towards that wall. Usually that's the standard play here, either the mid or bot. Usually
he is taking shots from both towers. You got to step up a little bit to the top there, Sylvanas, so you don't get shots from both turrets, but that's okay. He only loses about an eighth of his health there. Able to get the wall already completely gone, and now they're looking like they're going to rotate bottom and create as much pressure. And bot and top is usually where you see the pressure created on this map, just to the fact that you get more control over the shrines. After you get that wall mid lane, you get more control over the shrines. If they can get this wall and the health fountain, that's a big first objective for the core bouncers here, with the 2 kills they've already gotten as well.
Yeah, you kind of get position and vision over that little Trinity area there. There is 1 mutual camp and 3 camps down here in the mid bot area. So not bad for a pre or sub 3 minute Dragon Knight there for the core bouncers.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, exactly. Sub 3 minutes, already getting an objective. They've already got a half level lead. Now they just need to, cook. They need to start going, finding these objective camps, getting that talent level that they have right now. Those level 7s, Nemesis is going back on the Tassadar, so he will have to get his mana pool restored. So they probably won't be able to find a fight before that level 7 comes online for FC Hong Kong, but they should be able to get their siege camp. They should be able to create some pressure. But it looks like FC Hong Kong, they're going to go get this bot camp. Or maybe they're just sniffing out, thinking that the core bouncers were on it and ended up not finding nothing.
Yeah, I will say Mothership coming in with a 46-man raid. Jinxie, hello. Hopefully, I didn't get to see the heroic Storm Division.
Storm Division. Yeah. It sounds like that one went to a pretty late series too there. Holy cow. Yeah, we're in Game 5 over here. For those just joining, this has been an awesome series between these two teams, going back and forth every single game. We are in game number 5 here of the Division E Finals. We've got the core bouncers and FC Hong Kong, and they have got some spicy comps going on right now, with the FC Hong Kong just going that full blow-up comp. Core bouncers going for that pick off of Garrosh follow-up comp. Core bouncers have jumped out to this early lead. FC Hong Kong, we've known from games that have already been shown, they can come back in these series, especially when they hit their 10s. They just find these fights that just snowball, especially with this Li Ming player. He seems to find so many good resets and be able to put out so much damage. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will note Quicksilver Bullets, standard pickup for the Greymane, but Nematode should have an easier time being able to step up and get kind of some of that auto attack damage in there, extending that auto attack range just a smidge more, maybe just outside of Clown's range.
Li Ming going for that Calamity build, so she's fully committing to this reset build now. Like before, she was going a little bit more into that W build. Now she's just full Calamity. We're getting resets. We're going to town. We're just waiting for level 10s to come online so she can get that damage down. 10s online for the side of the core bouncers. They do have the objective up, so this is great map pressure that they're able to create here. Urel coming down, she's just going to try and buy some time as the side of FC Hong Kong look to find some experience somewhere to get themselves on even talent tiers, get that heroic tier for the rest of their team. But as we said, it's pretty standard coming out across the side of the core bouncers, except we do see that Decimate coming out on the Garrosh again. Ooh, big black hole coming through from the Tassadar player. Cassie, or Tiny No Tie on the Malfurion going down. Cake getting very low as well. The Urel getting thrown back in. Greymane going down on the Nematode. There's no way he's getting out of that. That is 2 kills going over to the core bouncers. They will pick up this second dragon, and they will look to push at least mid, maybe top. It looks like they're electing to go. Now they're going back mid. Okay, I was going to say, since they're already mid, now they're going bottom. They can make up their mind. Bottom is ultimate, top or bottom is where you want to get that map pressure. Like we said earlier, you want to get the objective to give yourself a little more cushion for this objective. Ultimately deny the opposing team that healing fountain in the bot lane. Nice blink by the Li Ming to keep the shrine or the dragon from knocking her back and also ultimately getting some damage down onto that. The Dragon Knight is trying to get as much damage as she can, but this is a very tanky Johanna sitting in the front line, just trying to blind out the Sylvanas player, keeping the siege from doing as much as it can. And so bare minimum, they lost a tower. That's probably all they're going to end up losing here. Map pressure being created in the bot lane for the core bouncers, and now they are looking to snowball this advantage.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to fall down here in the mid lane. Post level 10 now. Now's the time to fight. They don't have 13s yet, and they just need to get some of that poke. I mean, Li Ming has to just try and position herself to get some of this free poke on the Garrosh, where, Garrosh is really susceptible to. Like, he's kind of needs to be mounted, even like Ronin on, just use the flashlight, get him off of that mount, and not allow him to run like right at your enemy team.
Yeah, we're already seeing the Li Ming's just not being able to put out as much damage. That switch in the front lane, or the tank from the Anubrak over to the Garrosh, just able to deny that Li Ming the positioning she needs to be able to put out the damage. And we see the core bouncers taking over the opposing team's camp. Black hole going down. Li Ming getting caught out right in front and gets thrown out into the entire team of the core bouncers. That is one dead Li Ming. They're just getting a little too antsy, not letting Johanna be that leader. Greymane and Li Ming being thrown back. Garrosh is just having, the pick of the lot here with who he wants to throw.
Yeah. And just with the Sylvanas being able to shut down that tower, that he can kind of step up and kind of throw, even in the safety of their, their fort, underneath their fort. I mean, he can step up and throw, into the team.
Yeah, this isn't, so far it's uncharacteristically uncoordinated from FC Hong Kong from what we've seen so far this series. They've been playing every series so tight, and they just had a few little hiccups with their front line, or their back line, getting in front of their front line, and Garrosh going, oh, okay, you're going for a ride, and able to get those picks that they want. And ultimately, that's pretty much been the story so far. It's only 5 kills to 0, but all 5 of those kills, except for 1, has been Garrosh just throwing Greymane or Li Ming into the back line. And here he is again looking for a pick. He just got knocked from the Li Ming over to the Malfurion. He's like, thank you, Li Ming. And that's another black hole going out from the Tassadar player. Garrosh just sitting in there, able to use that Decimate to full value. Li Ming, she ain't going anywhere. Garrosh trying to get some value jumping in, but the Brightwing just able to heal up all the damage, and that's going to be 3 kills going over the core bouncers. Garrosh is like, I'm not done with that. I want the Johanna player as well. Johanna's actually able to sneak away. They didn't chase. The Brightwing didn't follow up on the Greymane, so I spoke too soon. That's not 3 kills. That's only going to be 2 kills, but again, all of this was created right around when the objective came online. So all Rexar needs to do is just go channel that top lane, and that's going to be a 3rd dragon going over for the side of the core bouncers.
Yeah, and just that combo with the Decimate, we can see why they took the Decimate to have the black hole. Garrosh is just able to get those resets and just all that damage just onto those teams. And then when it's over, he just throws whoever he feels like it, like you said, back into the team to get polymorphed and then just beat down by Tassadar.
Yeah, this is core bouncers are playing a very complete game right now. They're getting every fight that they want to get. They're looking for the plays around the Garrosh. They're getting the picks around the Garrosh. FC Hong Kong are getting a little too aggressive on some of their damage dealers. And then, outside of that, the core bouncers wouldn't be having all 3 of these objectives like they've been getting, but it's really tough fighting 3 objectives, or giving up 3 objectives and finding a way back in. Thankfully, they've been able to defend all 3 times on their keep. They're looking like they're wanting to pick another fight. They get the pick onto, this time they're looking for the Garrosh with the Cursed Bullet. The Yrel did rotate down. The Misha, or the Rexar is not here, so they're looking for, like, they want to pick this fight. The Credit Clown does get fairly low on the Garrosh. The Tassadar does go down as well. Li Ming is now hitting Reset City. Yrel looking like she wants to jump and get another kill, but it is a Blink Brightwing. That Brightwing is going to be able to get everybody to safety. Nice rotation down by the Yrel, though. You know, trying to find something to get their team back into it, and she gives up her top tower, but gets the 2 kills, and now they can create some map pressure, give their team a little breathing room.
Yeah, and a fantastic fight, down 16s, you know, looking at their core, or I'm sorry, losing their bottom keep, you know, early in this game, even, you know, just over 10 minutes there. So great fight and defense by FC Hong Kong as they try and reset here. Garrosh not back up for 10 seconds, so gonna grab the neutral. Bruiser camp down in the bottom, gonna rotate up. Pink's coming out for their Giants here. Dan Solo just trying to, you know, ward this Trinity bush as much as he possibly can here, but you know, with the siege potential here is online for FC Hong Kong. Has the brand name, has the Li Ming here, but they just gotta be careful with
the full 5 members are here for that core bouncers. Yrel just now getting here. Black Hole already going out. Garrosh end up missing it. Blessed Shield goes out for the disengage. They will get the kill onto Misha, so all is not for naught. Li Ming will get a reset off of that kill. But, you know, good disengage with the Blessed Shield from the Johanna. Ultimately, she wants to use it for a pick. She's like, well, you know, it's either a pick or my team dies. So smartly deciding to use the disengage Blessed Shield there, keep her team alive. And now they're looking like they're looking for another potential fight here. They're only down the Blessed Shield. Meanwhile, Tassadar's down his Black Hole, and Rexar's down his ultimate as well. So they do have ultimate advantage on the side of FC Hong Kong if they're keeping track of that. They may be, because they're positioning a little aggressively here in this bot lane. And it looks like everybody's here. This is going to be a 5v5 fight. This could be a massive swing for either team in their favor, depending on how this fight goes.
All right, and they have the Siege Giants in favor. That's going to get cleared out pretty quickly. Going to be shut off with the trade by Captain John there, but the toss can come out on Johanna. But unfortunately, going to be able to pop that Ardent Defender just in time, getting healed up just fantastically. The silence is going to come out from the Sylvanas here, and Credit Clown just getting the resets on the Johanna, on that Destiny, trying to step on the team, and down goes Ro.
Yeah, that's going to be, ooh, that's 2 kills. Oh my, that's 2 kills going over for the core bouncers there. It looked like they were, you know, FC Hong Kong, they were in it for a second there with the pick onto the Tassadar, but Brightwing, you know, even though she got that little bit of nerf, she still got that Tassadar just fully healthed in a matter of seconds.
Hypershift is just essentially another ancestral healing. Just less so
yeah,
now.
8%. It's 8% now. So went from 10 to 8%, but it's massive, and that's a massive pickup for the core bouncers. This is their 4th dragon. They will be able to take it bot lane. Timers will be back up for the sides of FC Hong Kong, that they will be able to create a pretty decent defense here, but I expect this keep to go down. There's no wall to defend it. The dragon is very healthy. It's a very powerful dragon at 14 minutes. And 20s will come online when that keep go down for the side of the core bouncers. So we may see, depending on how this fight goes, this could be game-ending push. It could just be a keep. Actually, it could be nothing. Li Ming jumping a little bit forward, trying to get any sort of pick that she possibly can. Dragon Knight backing off, already down at, you know, an 8th HP. It's only at, a 5th HP, 21%. It's not going to be able to do much more. It dives in, but Yrel times the jump perfectly in order to get the drag to prevent the punt, and that's going to be a dead dragon. Nematode getting really far forward. Again, the disrupt coming in from the Li Ming bopes the Garrosh forward. He already hit the Malfurion once with it. Almost got Greymane caught out there, but good defense again from FC Hong Kong.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to head up top, clear this wave out a little bit, patiently just try and catch and so 20s. So they're just going to let core bouncers have their way with the map. They're going to paint it blue, but they still bleed red, and that's where they're going to be. They're just going to patiently just let them give them the soak here and try and catch up to 20 objective. They should have it right before the next objective.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the I'm looking for the FC Hong Kong. I know there's a fight. They've gotten so close in so many of these fights of finding the opportune fight. The core bouncers are doing an excellent job preventing from that fight from happening. They got a pick once and it worked for them. So that's pretty much what FC Hong Kong has to do now. They're not going to be able to get these camps. They can't leave their base essentially because 20s are online for the core bouncers. They should get on even talent tier. They're 19 now, but with all 3 waves collapsing into their base, they should be able to safely farm up to level 20. Get on even talent tiers with the heroic tier and find a number 5. 5v5 fight, number 5.
They got an invisible Garrosh.
I noticed that too. The Garrosh is just Rambo Garrosh in stealth mode. Johanna doing a great job preventing the Garrosh from getting forward there, getting that frontline pressure that we know that Johanna can provide, but the siege potential coming out from the core bouncers here, just too much. It's able to get a lot of this keep, have this keep, but Misha does go down, unfortunately. Most of the FC Hong Kong, they got pretty unhealthy with that. They weren't able to get a pick that they're looking for. And now they need to soak mid, soak top, and try to find a 5v fight. But since all the core bouncers went bottom, they are going to get this camp, and that camp will potentially put siege pressure. And if it's not answered, get that keep for them. But they need to find an objective to defend over because they cannot give up another dragon. With how unhealthy that bottom keep is, giving up this 5th dragon, potentially game ending with that how open that bottom lane is.
Yep, 20's online now. We are going to see the repulsion going to be able to push
like where they're setting up here. They're not going over the top lane. They're setting up. Oh, nope. Okay, they're leaving the bush. I mean, they're just looking for something. At this point, they're looking for anything they can find. 20's just did come online for the side of FC Hong Kong. They're answering to that bot as 4. So they know Urel going up top. She knows it's not being channeled. She's going to elect to channel it herself to get a little bit more time for her team to respond once it does start getting channeled. Meanwhile, everybody else clearing out this bot lane siege pressure. Tassadar already going to channel it. Brightwing is there, but she can teleport in. Nobody's in this mid lane except for Urel. The entire team is bot lane. Johanna's going over, trying to interrupt it while Johanna, the Urel, she does pop the unstoppable. She is able to get away, and that does cancel out the Dragon Shrine. So good communication there. The Urel going in, didn't even have to pop the Ardent Defender there, which, in that kind of a hurrah play, you're expecting that you probably will have to play it. So good play by the Urel player to not have to pop that Ardent Defender, buy their team some time. But this objective is going to get channeled again. Rex are already starting the Urel, saving that Ardent Defender till the last possible second. The rest of the team still responding to minions. Urel just electing to go away. And this is going to be a 5th objective going over to the core bouncers.
All right, and it looks like they're going to opt to go mid here. Maybe rotate down on bottom if they do get this. Just LOL JK, full pivot down here into the bot lane. It could be okay. We saw a strong defense here in this lane from FC Hong Kong. Look to do it again. They need to lock down this Tassadar. I think the black hole outside of just the Garrosh Tosh is the main culprit of some of these fights.
Yeah, this dragon already getting fairly low. Good focus, but our Johanna player, Urel, getting punted in the back. Johanna getting fairly low. Johanna looking like she wants to pick this fight. She blessed shields. She lands it onto 5 members. Urel gets a 5-man knockback. Malfurion gets the nice heal going down. Li Ming starting to reset city. Urel getting fairly low. Li Ming getting low as well. And that is 3 kills going over to the core bouncers for 1. That was huge. I thought with the Blessed Shield engaged that they would be able to get some damage from the Li Ming. That is 4. That is devastating, and this more than likely, with the keep being gone, will be Game 5 going over to the Gore Bouncers. Can Malfurion hold this off? I don't think so, but he will try his darndest. GG coming out in the chat already. This looks like it's going to be Game 5, and that will be the Core Bouncers being your Season 10 Division E champions for, until Season 11 begins. That was, wow.
I mean, well-timed Wailing Arrow by Captain John there. I mean, like you said, all that damage was ready to come out there, and just that well-timed ult there to just silence everybody, and they weren't able to push their buttons and able to, just navigate the fight there and able to end and then be our Div E champions.
I mean, that game did not tell the story of this series at all. This series, that was probably the most decisive victory we see that came out of the Core Bouncers in these 3 games. I mean, FC Hong Kong on the last map on Altar Pass, they were literally knocking at the door to ending the series in that top lane with the objective push. And Core Bouncers just barely hung on and found a way back on Alteric Pass to get that, to send it to a game 5, and then ended up definitively winning game 5. They were ahead from the get-go from level 1 with that level 1 pick.
Yeah, just unfortunately able to catch Nematode out of position there. And like I said, just able to snowball there. And that was kind of the story up until level 10, kind of swaying a team fight here or there. But just that Decimate Black Hole combo, just getting those resets and be able to spam that damage and then just get the pick. Just a little too much for Malfurion to deal with.
All right, we're sitting on 3 hours of streaming. I am going to see, hang tight, everybody. I know you've been with us for a marathon, but I'm going to see if we can get the captain or maybe even the whole team of the Core Bouncers in here, interview these Division E champions. Give me 1 second as I try. Dax, take it away. Talk about whatever you saw coming out of that game 5. That was a whole fantastic series.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we saw the secret Rexar, right? We were talking about that going to this map or Towers of Doom. The ball being in FC Hong Kong's court, having the stronger macro play, and we opted to come here, but not playing the Rexar, or wondering if Dan Solo actually played the Rexar. Didn't see it on any scouting reports, so just good job on him. But the soak there from both those off laners, well over the 20,000 in, I think it was a sub 25-minute game. That game 5 was probably the shortest, I would think.
Oh, that was definitely the shortest. There. We had a couple 30-minute ones.
Yeah, I think the last one alone was on Alterac was, I think, well over 30 minutes for sure. But yeah, just the Li Ming not being able to do as much damage, which strangely enough into a Garrosh that suffers into a lot of poke versus the Anubarak in the past couple games. So unfortunately, just Li Ming not bringing home the bacon, so to speak, in that last game.
Yeah. All right. We've got the Core Bouncers. Me and Dax have to hop out a channel. So Dax, why don't we hop up a channel real quick and I'll send them over. Let's go to lobby 4.
Sounds.
And we'll see if we can get the members of the Core Bouncers in here for a nice little champions interview. Holy smokes, man. That was a fantastic... We hyped it up, and that did deliver. Holy cow. Hello. Oh, wow. Hey, yes, we've got the whole team coming in.
Yeah, we'll bring the whole team.
Here comes the team.
Yeah, why not? Bring them all in.
The Core Bouncers.
Congratulations, boys. How we feeling?
Thank you.
We're feeling...
A little sweaty.
Those were
a little sweaty.
Boy.
Those were some games. Holy cow. I don't even know where to start. I mean, congratulations on that marathon of a series, finding your way back into it. At several times it looked dire, like we were like, uh-oh, this could be it. And you guys just found a way to make it work, get back in, crawling tooth and nail, and coming out with the win. That was definitively your most, dominating victory that last map for the whole series. That was special. But let's go back to the beginning. Whoever wants to answer, just shout out. Now the season's over, what was your guys' strategy coming tonight? Like, what was the preparation like? You knew who you were going against. You played against them back in week 1 of
it was a long time
the season. So yeah, months and months ago. What have you learned watching their games, and what was the plan coming into tonight?
I think we definitely from the first week kind of remembered they were a very strong team, and I think we had a pretty insane few games with them the first time, and so we absolutely were sticking to our guns and making sure we weren't slacking tonight because we knew we were up against a good team, and I think we knew that they knew how to team fight really well, which is kind of one of our specialties. Is we really do well in the brawls, and we knew that they also did well for that as well. And so, we obviously spent a good bit talking about potential comps, talking about what we might see tonight, and kind of going through our options. And as you can see, that worked for some games, but not for all of them. But I think ultimately we were kind of able to keep the the Dragonshire thing in our back pocket. Not that we're particularly good at Dragonshire, but I think in terms of a lot of the heroes that we played, like Dan hadn't really played as Rexar and the League at all, and I hadn't really played too much of my Bright Wing, which were kind of a little bit of our sleepers. And Credit Clown's Garrosh usually would get banned out. So
Yeah, I noticed the Garrosh didn't get banned out like the entire series, but it never got picked. And I was like, it's got to come out at some point. It's got to come out. I've seen it so many times. When's it coming out? Saved it for Game 5.
Game pick.
Yeah, so we were saving it.
So that, I guess that's the elephant in the room, right? Was like the Anubarak, a pick because Medallion's now gone and has just such lockdown potential and pick potential, or just maybe just drafting, going in thinking that they were going to ban the Garrosh.
Well, I do really well with the noob, and the idea was to shut down Ming, but it really didn't happen that well. Wasn't really able to cocoon anyone. She would just get him out. Honestly, I should have just stuck with Garrosh from the beginning, but we won't talk about that.
Well, no, I mean, I know. I mean, we mentioned, Anubarak is viewed as the Li-Ming counter, but I know we saw, like you even said yourself, like it just time and time again, like if it's not her in the cocoon, that her damage just kind of makes it a null. Like you don't have an ult there, yeah.
Yeah, and also I think what a big issue we were coming into was with Vala being able to kind of stack her hatred off of the Anubarak beetles. That kind of kept Vala online pretty hard, and so I think that was our only issue with Anubarak, and I don't know if that was a conscious choice for them to draft the Li-Ming Vala, but they did it probably 2 or 3 times, I think.
They did it in BOE, and that was terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was.
Like just at one point, Vala soloed the Immortal on one side of the map, and all 5 of you were fighting the Immortal on the other side of the map, and she beat you. And I was like, that's insane. Like Vala just 1v5'd, or what? Her 1 versus your 5 on the Immortal. She beat you. I was like, wow, that just shows Vala on that map.
She's very strong.
But we really didn't draft much race, honestly.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it was the strat you guys had worked. It's just when it came down to a race fight, that's where the problems happened. But game 1, May was open. I mean, it was like insta locked, and then permanently banned like the rest of the game. So how much emphasis did you guys put on the May, or did you know like Credit Clown's going to go on May and he's just going to terrify them and we're never getting it again? So let's just not practice May that much this week.
Honestly, that was discussed. I mean, I think it was going into it. It was like, okay, there's no way that May gets through, and it was kind of like we were practicing other strats, talking other things, and then May got through. So it was kind of like, okay, well, I guess we got to do this, And that was the only time she got through, obviously. But yeah, it was kind of a spur of the moment, like, well, I guess this is what we're doing, because we knew she'd be strong against the comps that they like to play. So.
Yeah, especially on the map you got her on too.
Oh yeah.
Wes is just crazy good at May too. Like,
oh yeah,
I like
he's
May.
picked up. May
I was gonna say I hyped him up.
I hyped
him up pregame.
Really came online.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, don't give him May. Just don't. I've seen him do too many things on May. It was literally in my notes like that I put up in the beginning of the stream. You can go back and watch it. I'm like, just don't give him May. And they gave you May, and I was like, uh-oh. I know what's gonna happen. I've seen this story before. But so I mean, you guys came out on Tomb. It was a close match, but it was pretty definitive victory. What happened on Infernal Shrines? Because it looked like you guys had a pretty good strategy on Infernal Shrines. You got the Tassadar, you got the Asmodan, and then it just seemed like things just weren't clicking necessarily the way you guys wanted to. Was it you just weren't able to create the pressure you wanted, or you weren't able to find the fights? Like, what happened in that game too, where I've seen that strategy work, it just didn't seem to work tonight?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest issues is we were getting really zoned out. The Joanna Stukov is just a deadly combo, and that was like absolutely devastating us.
Also, the Gazlo grab-o
Yeah,
bomb.
I was gonna say those hurt.
Gazlo's a stupid hero.
It was everywhere, man.
Yeah, I attribute a lot of that to the Joe, because we'd try and engage on that objective there, and she'd just split either 1 or 2 of us off.
Yeah, we were getting totally split, and pushed into those like hallways with Joe, and then obviously with the Gazlo follow up and the Janus low was just, and then Greymane just coming in to finish it off. It was just that was brutal.
Yeah,
absolutely brutal.
They had a pretty bursty comp, and when it hit, it hit hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did not have the right comp to counter that. Absolutely.
We missed the medallions.
Yeah, I mentioned it several times. I was like, they would have lived if the medallion was available, but it's gone.
I think the only person here that doesn't miss the medallions is Wes.
Yeah.
Tank.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Everywhere.
Get that stuff out of here. Okay, so I can't go without mentioning game one. It was Vala, right? Game one was Vala. Nemesis was on Vala.
Yeah.
Game 2, 3, 4, 5. Tassadar first pick, insta-lock, like no question. Was there ever a thought in the team comps about like maybe we go something else at maybe we take the Li Ming away from them, or was it just like nope, if they don't ban Tassadar, just lock it?
I think Nemesis plays a really, really good Tassadar, and I think he always really just comps really well with our team and the walls and stuff. But I mean, it was definitely discussed to take the Li Ming away. I don't think
Game 5,
were.
I tried to argue for Rexar first pick. I thought I wouldn't get it.
No, we weren't worried about that, but no, I do think there was a big discussion about taking the Li Ming away, but we just felt that the advantage of us having Tassadar would be greater than trying, because I don't know, Ming can be a problem, but
Thought I could counter it with a noob, but
I think that was the thought going in. Yeah.
Well, the counter apparently was Garrosh just walking up to her and being like, "See ya."
Yeah.
Go a little closer to my team.
Yeah.
The comfort picks were
Like, please be my
Tassadar and Sylvanas. Both of those we've played for a long time, and we know how it just works really good with our comp.
And funny enough, on the last Dragonshire map, we all kind of got like our original mains. Like I always used to really hardcore play Brightwing. Dan played when we met Dan. He was playing Rexar. Everyone was just kind of very comfortable in our mains, and I think that's a comp that we've run many, many, many times on that map. So everything just felt very natural for that last game.
I was about to mention on that's what I said on game 4. I think I alluded to it on game 5 too, but game 4 was very like we were saying, okay, this is do or die. This is match point for core bouncers. So what are they going to draft? And when you guys drafted, I'm like, this is like the core bouncers build.
Yeah.
Like this is what they always want to run. This is ultimate comfort picks. Let's just see if we can bully them off. And it ended up working. Alternate Pass, I think, was one of the closest matches that you guys had in the series, where it was just we had no idea who was going to come away. It
was 30 minutes.
It was long.
Yeah.
At one point, it looked like both teams were going to win, and then neither team won. And then the fighter of the objective, never mind, we're going to leave. And then it ended up being, was the call to fake going for the objective and come back to the camp, or did you just see them because of the minions like go up and start the camp? So you're like, never mind, let's just go back and grab it.
That was absolutely it.
I had seen them start heading up towards that camp, and then once I realized there were 4 there, I think the team can attest my call was objective like 6 times in a row. That was all the comms were for a couple seconds. So we just
objective.
Cover it down.
Yeah, because I noticed it was like 10 seconds left, and it looked like you guys were just going to disengage, go to your camp, and then their whole team went to do theirs. So I didn't know if it was like a fake fade, or if you guys were actually going to go do it, and then you just saw them leave, and so you're like, never mind, let's go get it.
Yep.
I will say that it was a 100% fake out, and it was our master play of the series.
Nice.
Next level mind games. All right, Dax, take over. You got any questions? I don't think if anybody in Twitch chat has any questions for our champions, throw them out there. But Dax, I'll let you take over. Throw a couple questions in.
No, I think I put them all out there when we were, I think we touched base on everything there that I wanted to cover. Was just, I guess essentially we talked about Gazlo a little bit, but did you scout Blackstormer at all to see that Gazlo and whether or not, to see that he was even swapped in there from time to time? Because like I said, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast that, that they kind of rotate people in and out. It's, you kind of have to pay attention. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It took us off guard, and I think I knew that he had played Gazlo. I think,
Against us for
No.
sure. I know he did the week before. Yeah.
yeah, we weren't as worried about the Gazlo. I guess more, we weren't as worried as we should have been, obviously, because I think it absolutely caught us off. But we did research and did see that he had played Gazlo, and it was kind of it did catch us off, and I think that was one of the biggest reasons we lost that game. It's just the Gazlo. I mean, that was just totally destroyed us. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that was crazy.
But yeah, I think other than that, I think we hit all my questions that I had written down.
Yeah, I mean, you
Awesome.
touched on the last thing I was thinking about, but I never mentioned was the sub opportunity, because that's gotta throw you off.
Yeah, it threw us off for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Throw
I
yours in
mean,
there.
you let the Gaslow go through. You saw what happened. You're like, never again,
Never again.
Yep.
But
It was like May.
Just like
Mhm.
Just
yeah,
like
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. But I
All
mean,
right,
We
well,
saw
we
the
will
URL
never
and
do-
went, Dan, you got to bring yours out.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. We went Gazlo, Urel,
yeah, there was a lot of flipping.
and then Rexar came out of nowhere because
Well, I saw you
Garrosh.
got Lucio in one of the games. I knew you were going to be happy once you got the Lucio pick.
We always have fun with Lucio, especially on Alterac. He's just he has so much burst heals, and he has so much disengage, I guess, with the ult, and I think especially against a Leo. I mean, that's something I'm very comfortable picking Lucio into Leo. Just whenever they try and do the big engage, you just drop the ult, and I think we actually won a game one time just from that ult. Won a Leo. I think it was our last game. I don't remember.
I think you've done that twice now.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
pretty
it's
sure
a
you've done
common
that
thing.
twice.
Common thing with us.
Alrighty, I'm not seeing anything in chat right now. So real
It's
quick,
sleeping again.
I don't know which one to ask, so I guess I'll just go with Captain Garbo, since you're leader of the team. Who was the MVP of this marathon series?
Oh, I actually can't answer that. I think everybody played really well, and it was such a long series. We had 5 games, and everyone had some really good plays. So I don't think I can answer it, sadly. If it would have been maybe 3 games, I think I could have. Sorry for the anticlimactic pick there, but
You're gonna go back and watch the
to
series and be
all
like, never
three of
mind,
our
this
loyal
person.
Fans.
yeah.
There you go. You guys had a ton of support in chat. Oh my gosh, it's like I just kept seeing TCB everywhere, and I
I'll
was like,
give MVP to Dan's wife and
Dan's wife.
oh yeah,
absolutely.
there you go.
100%.
With all
She's-
my
yeah.
heart, Lee. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
She cheered us on. She had an emergency in the middle. That's why we had to pause. There was an emergency with Dan's wife, and
yes, she had a very scary drive home from work.
yeah, she almost got in a very bad car accident, and then she came home and still was the core bouncers number.
I was gonna say, came home, brushed it
And
off,
she-
and cheered on the core bouncers.
Total trooper, brushed it off in like 2-3 minutes, and was like, "Okay, go play your game. I'm gonna go watch you from the living room. You got this."
Yeah, so she gets the MVP.
All right.
Well, I was gonna say
Alright.
at that
like
point it was, I think you guys were down in the series 2-1, so maybe
That's
it
what
was
brought us
the
back.
yeah, I was gonna say maybe
Yeah.
that's what brought you guys back. It's like, all right, we got our
Yeah.
cheerleader here, let's go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, any shout outs? I mean, you already gave one to Dan's wife, but any other shout outs you guys want to give into Twitch chat? Floor is your guys's.
My only shout out would
Trolling
be, and my only shout out would be to FC Hong Kong. They played a great game. That was like one of the pretty much the most intense game we've played of the season, and it was really fun. And yeah, that was just great. It was almost pretty much as crazy as our first game. So it was great getting to start where we ended, and yeah, we were all gonna go just like deep breathe for about
Try and calm down at 12:30 at night.
an hour.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good little nightcap. Yeah. Good
Nobody's
luck.
getting any sleep tonight. Let's be
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, but yeah, honestly, it was really fun. Great team, and I appreciate you guys casting us as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
That was a blast. We hyped
that
this
was
thing
our
up so
pleasure,
much, and
yeah.
it didn't disappoint at all.
No, not at all.
I'm glad. Yeah, that was great.
All
I
right,
also
Dex.
Dax.
really
Shout out
like
to-
the.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I really enjoyed the super cuts of all the highlight reels from both teams before
Oh
we played.
yeah,
That felt
yeah,
really fun to watch.
that was cool. Getting to see that.
It was awesome getting to cast all those. Like I was like, yes, I got all this material. Let's go. I was so excited.
Yeah.
This is an awesome season. I love season 10 so much. I'm stoked for season 11 when it comes out.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Everybody gets a
Oh,
nice
wait, yeah,
nice
Shadow
long
March.
break and then
Oh yeah, shout out to Lich Queen too. Cheering
oh yeah,
us
she
on.
was cheering like
Mhm.
crazy in chat.
Oh yeah.
Already.
Alrighty, Dax, anything else you want to say to our champions before we end this stream?
Nothing I didn't already say, but other just congratulations. Go celebrate as a team, and keep bouncing on those scores, boys.
Sir.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, take it
Right
easy,
on.
gentlemen. Congratulations again on the victory. Go get some sleep if you can, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys again in season 11.
Thanks.
See you there.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, take care.
See ya.
See ya.
All right. Well, that was awesome. Fantastic series. I don't think anything more can be said about Slash. I don't know if I have the energy anymore to say anything.
Nope, not at all. I am a filthy East Coaster. It is 12:30 in the morning here on Thursday, but I'm still wide awake. I'm going to figure out something to do so I can fall asleep because the hype is real. But again, just congratulations to FC Hong Kong for their amazing series. Please keep your heads high. That came down to literally like one or two team fights there in game 4 there that
Oh,
didn't go your way,
absolutely.
that led it to game 5. But yep, just congrats to season 10. Like I said, it's been a fantastic season. Hype towards season 11 here as we move into the off season here.
All right. I really don't have anything else to add on to that. So congratulations again. We're going to close out this stream. Have a fantastic night, everyone. Get some sleep if you can. If not, there's a 3.5-hour replay about to come online that you could go watch some more epic HOTS if you want. Or you can go check out the Storm League replay that just finished. That's on my to-do list for this weekend. So have a fantastic night, everyone. Enjoy the Nexus. I'll see you around. This is ISX. Oh, also, if you guys like the stream tonight, I never made a pitch